One. Let's go.
This show fucking stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for it. AJ, never cease to amaze me with your toxicity, pal.
You got a couple of these?
God damn it! What the fuck are you doing?
Fuck Boston
Shut the fuck up! Hello, beautiful people. It is Aaron Rodgers Tuesday, November 22nd, 2022, and this dumbass sports show starts, all right, now. Football! Just wrapped up its week 11 of the NFL season, in which they took a trip to El Estadio Azteca in Mexico, where the San Francisco 49ers ran the Arizona Cardinals out of the fucking gym. Now, I officially picked the Cardinals plus like 9.5 or something like that going into the game because I thought there was a chance with Colt McCoy's leadership and the way that team had been playing with him in the lineup as opposed to everybody else in the lineup, with how it looked in Hard Knocks behind the scenes, they might be able to keep it close. I also acknowledge a couple different times that there's a chance that San Francisco 49ers are going to run them off the fucking field. Guess what? They did. Mm-hmm. It was an unbelievable performance from top to bottom for the Niners last night. Their special teams was absolutely dominant. Mitch Wishnowsky was pinning them deep. Robbie Gould's banging balls again. He missed an extra point that missed the kicking net last week. I thought Robbie Gould was maybe dead. He's not. He's all the way back 18 years into this thing. Mitch Wishnowsky and the boys handled business when it came to the field position game. On the defense side of the ball, I don't know how you block them or stop them. I honestly have no idea how you do as such. They are so fast, they fly around. On the offensive side of the ball, since adding Christian McCaffrey, and now obviously Christian's able to do everything. We've seen him throw a touchdown. We've seen him catch a touchdown. His bread and butter is running the fucking rock. But their schemes and schematics, not only with Juice being a fullback, the way they have their offensive line moving. Trent Williams is out in space blowing up Buda Baker. That's every single week with Shanahan's big brain. Let alone Debo got in the end zone where he looked faster than everybody. Ayuk got in the end zone with a sick route that made a DB look bad. Not always great. That's going to happen. When you're living in the paint, you're going to get dunked on every once in a while. Then George Kittle has 2 touchdowns last night in Mexico City. You completely forget that he is a guy when it comes to receiving as opposed to just blocking. This San Francisco 49ers team, okay, showed last night that they might be the team of the NFC. With the Christian McCaffrey trade, the record before BC, before Christian, and then after Christian is vastly different. 3-3, scoring 20 points a game with 340 yards per game and third down percentage of 41% BC. Post Christian McCaffrey, 3-1, 28.5, 396, 55%, and all the things. And that's via Field Yates. We appreciate that stat, Field. They're a team that's going to go on and win. Jimmy G is going to be a free agent. What the hell are they going to do with Trey Lance? That is a conversation that is obviously going to heat up as this Niners team continues to go. But they've just absolutely slaughtered the NFC West in the last 4 games. Shanahan seems to be content and comfortable, and Dr. York got a game ball from Mexico last night. Excited for the Niners, thankful for them. Can't wait to hear all the boys' thoughts. The Toxic Table's here at Boston Connor, at Ty Schmidt. Ty, Aaron Rodgers Tuesday, haven't played since Thursday. Probably not going to do a lot of talking about the Titans because that game's behind us. Sunday Night Football against the Eagles. How do we feel about how this conversation is going to go with Aaron today?
I don't know, to be honest. It was obviously a very demoralizing defeat on Thursday night, but that's in the past now. He's had a couple days to kind of relax and get back to it. Now they're saying that he's had a broken thumb since the Giants game in London, so that's kind of interesting. Who knows? Not dead yet, not dead yet.
Mathematically.
But, mathematically. But, oh, boy, I'd be lying if I said I was confident going into this Eagles game on Sunday night. It's just these primetime games where we're facing these Titans of the league right now, it just doesn't make you feel good. It just doesn't make
Titans
you feel
were the
good
last one, actually. So the Titans of the league was good usage of the word Titan, talking about the size of teams and importance of teams, and also playing the Titans, losing to them on Thursday. Excited to hear where Aaron's at. The broken thumb makes sense because it has been a topic of conversation, whether he has it taped up or he doesn't have it taped up. Remember, he fell that one time and it hurt. It was like, well, that didn't make sense that just a fall would have hurt it. A hairline, some sort of something in there would make sense. And maybe why he was starting to ball a little wobbly on Thursday night.
Exactly.
Maybe that's why he was a little bit inaccurate, which has never happened with Aaron Rodgers, because his grip might be a little bit different because he's got a fucking broken bone in there. How come we hadn't heard about this, though? Have they been hiding that from everybody, or they didn't know, do you think?
Yeah, I don't know. He's obviously not the guy, because we've asked him about it several times, and he kind of just said, like, it hurts, but it's not going to be an issue. But that would make sense. Typically with Rodgers, as it gets colder, he gets better. But if you have a broken thumb and it starts getting colder, like that is going to make a big fucking difference. So we'll see. He's obviously not going to make any excuses about it. But yeah, that would. I mean, like we're watching a guy who doesn't look like the guy we've seen in years past, throwing the football, missing wide open guys. Like that never happens. So, obviously I think it is affecting him a little bit.
Look for him to maybe get gloved up like he's Kenny Pickett, who is quarterback of the team that is traveling to Indianapolis for Monday Night Football next week. One half of the hammer, Dahn. Cowboys Tone Diggs is here. You're fantastic. Debut of a new studio yesterday.
Yeah, way to go, Tony.
Way to go, Tone. Hammer Down was great. Can't wait for you guys to make that your own. Diggs was laying bricks in there.
He was.
Goddamn
for
right.
weeks to make that studio what it is, and we appreciate it. The audio wasn't perfect off the jump, but we kind of knew that was going to happen. A little PTSD of this studio, by the way, as you were going off yesterday.
I mean, it wouldn't be us if the first live show wasn't some stuff like that, and we got it all fixed after. It should be great going forward.
The coin hit, obviously.
Yeah, it did. In a landslide. It didn't just hit. It was a walk of the century, maybe.
I do wonder with how good this coin is, if this coin is the same coin that did the Jets schedule. And if you guys need to maybe corral your coin in a little bit better, because this thing's out there willy-nilly making everybody better. What does your show have anymore?
It's not. It's not. The coin that picked the Jets schedule is an actual, real, physical coin.
We don't know that. We've never seen it. Never seen it flipped.
It's a legit coin, unlike
could be
the
Fugazi, could just be some jabroni writing it down on a piece of paper.
Just to pick fucking hockey games.
Okay, so feels like there's a little bit of
Jesus.
a little bit of content against this other Jets coin because of the notoriety it's getting. We'd like to let everybody know the honorable coin has made a lot of money for a lot of people. From
Especially last night.
And it's not a real coin. It's an app.
No.
Right.
It's an app of a coin.
Which is good. I didn't expect to see the Italian camp in such disarray this morning.
Yeah, they were a little talking over each other, but I think it's because they were so pissed off about people potentially talking about their coin, doing side jobs for the
Tony
Jets.
hates on the coin. He shits on it every chance he gets. So.
Yeah, but he stands up and yells whenever it comes. Everybody understands the honorable coin. I came sprinting yesterday with some CBD, had to spark that up, and obviously the coin did its thing. First day in the studio, I thought the show was fantastic. Speaking of first day in studio, this is the first time we've had two of our incredible segments in one day because Thanksgiving's on Thursday, then Big Sale Friday is happening again. We're off on the Thursday, Friday, we're off. So, had changed some schedules around, and we're fantastically gifted to have one man join us every single Tuesday, and that is a man who really breaks down the run game, doesn't he? An offensive line play.
Yeah.
He's a Super Bowl champion. He is here live and in person. Ladies and gentlemen, AQ Shipley.
Yeah!
Host of the Bobbled Exchange as well, show with Drew Stanton. How you feeling, bud?
I feel great. What a game last night, huh?
This is for you. I think you enjoyed it.
I feel like a genius because I've been saying all along San Francisco 49ers are the team. They're the team.
This is very TV of you to say what you just said right there.
They're the team.
I would like to ask you, and we'll dive into some more Niners talk here in like literally a second, but how have you enjoyed your first year doing content here during the season? You were coaching last year.
Yep.
He was at the he was getting coffee, fucking drawing up cards.
Shining shoes.
Fixing printers.
How many years did you play football?
12 years.
12 years in the NFL. Won a Super Bowl. Been on so many different teams. Considered like a coach on the field because he's a center of the way he thought. You want to go into coaching? Sweet. We'd welcome you here. Fucking go shine my shoes, go sleep in a couch, go draw play cards, go drink coffee. I have a family and I've made a lot of money actually. Don't care. Here's $25,000. You're lucky to do it, which is, we all thought it was very admirable.
Oh, yeah.
Very admirable of you to say. Me and AJ actually fucking mocked you openly when you decided to go do it because how terrible it was.
I mocked myself.
Yeah, you knew you probably weren't going to be able to do it for the entire season starting early, but you committed to a job. You got a lot of friends over there. You did your thing. Jeff Saturday becoming a head coach. Did you enjoy that or hate that move as somebody that had to go from the former player into the bottom of the totem pole and then said, I ain't climbing up this thing. I don't have it in me, which we respect and appreciate because you got on the TV and started doing this, which we think you were fantastic at. But how do you feel about Jeff Saturday getting that, and do you think that opens up opportunities for other people?
I hope so. I love everything about it. I love what Jeff is doing. I love the fact that he's a former center, moves into a big role, got to bypass everything else, right? Like, I think that's huge. It should happen more. We talk about this all the time. Like, there's a lot of brains. There's a lot of really smart guys that played football a long time that don't want to do that.
What you did. That don't want to do what you did. And
Right.
you had it better than most because you were friends literally with all those coaches, I think, personally, right?
And under Bruce Arians, you have the best schedule probably of any coach in the league. I mean, like, he's very big on getting out as soon as you can, as long as you get your work done. And that was awesome, but still saw my kids once a week, and not
Well,
for
Joe
me.
Thomas
Not
went to
for
bat
me.
for you, obviously, whenever we talked about Jeff Saturday, and I appreciate him. I appreciate him and you doing that. I'm just intrigued to hear every time somebody talks about it because, Jeff, if he beats the Eagles there,
Oh, man.
Boy.
boy, we were 3 plays away from beating the Eagles. We make that 50-yarder earlier in the game. It's a whole different conversation at the end on what has to happen. I mean, that would have been a tough kick for Chase. Chase has kicked very well. But I'm just saying, that you look back on that, should have beat the Eagles. I mean, that is really a thing. That conversation that we just had right there is happening today loud. At a lot of these places where things aren't working out, what former player is tied to the program that has good leadership responsibilities, and then get a couple coordinators in there that can do it. But instead, we lose to the Eagles. So now it's just kind of like, I hope Jeff's happy. Now you got to lose and be miserable. Joining us today, which is, normal for him to be with us every single week, but never on a Tuesday.
No.
We've been blessed earlier in the week because of the holiday. Ladies and gentlemen, host of the Everything DB right here on our show, the Man to Man podcast, an NFL matchup on ESPN, ESPN2, and ESPN Plus. Darius Butler. D-Bud, how many years did you play in the NFL?
Put a 9-piece in.
9. So that's 21 years plus my 8 is 29 years, nearly 3 decades on this stage talking about the NFL.
Not bad.
I feel pretty good.
Unreal.
Our show's pretty good with that type of stuff.
Tony's D1 years, too.
Yeah, you're right at it. Tony's D1,
3
almost Ivy
decades and
League.
3 idiots. That's pretty much.
What did AJ get?
Yeah.
How many did he get?
11? I want to say like 11, I think.
Sounds right.
But he didn't play against the Eagles, so really it was like 10 and 9 8.
Have you ever heard this story?
No.
So whenever we found this out from somebody else, and then we had to bring it to AJ's attention when we were with him in person. They were playing against the Eagles when the Eagles had Vic or something, and the defense coordinator didn't think AJ should be on the field, so they didn't dress him.
Liability and coverage.
Healthy scratch because he couldn't keep up, wasn't fast enough.
I was on that Philly team.
AJ ran a 4.4. AJ ran a 4.4, had a 45-inch vertical. The coach literally looked at him, hey, white guy, don't need you.
Nope. Can't cover.
Don't need you out here with Michael Vick. And he didn't. I believe the story goes that some people in his camp were telling him that he needs to request a trade immediately. He never did because he's a fucking Ohio fuck or whatever. But yeah, we always talk about the one game where he didn't dress because he had like a torn pec, torn hamstring, broken fingers, never missed a game. The only game he missed was he was a healthy scratch. It's because he wasn't athletic enough to be on the field.
That's right.
It is such a beautiful AJ Hawk moment. Let's talk about this Niners team from your perspective, Darius. So whenever you look at this team, they run the ball all over the place.
Yeah.
Trent can move. That's a big weapon for them. Now, I know he tips plays, says somebody online, and Warren
Can't
Sharp
have it.
can't have that. He tips plays. But having the ability to have that type of run scheme, have the personnel to be able to do it, you add a player like Christian McCaffrey in the middle of the season. They seemingly have gone all in to win. That's why Dr. York got a game ball. He was a cancer and a researcher before he retired.
Pathologist, yeah.
Pathologist, cancer and yeah, you get it. Researcher. That's why he's Dr. York. Has a lot of money, owns a team now. Are they stoppable? And are they only stoppable if Jimmy G doesn't play well? Because that seemingly is the conversation about why Jimmy G might not be the quarterback there for the future because he can't get it done. If he can get it done, do you believe that's the case? And if he does, what do they do with him because he's a free agent at the end of the season? Darius Butler.
Well, first of all, I think he can get it done. Obviously, he's been.
It's that one missed throw, Emmanuel Sanders.
Yeah,
right.
That's
in the Super Bowl.
One throw away from winning that Super Bowl. But you mentioned obviously AQ would get into it more. The trenches, what they do in the trenches. That O line is crazy, having all those weapons. But then on the other side of the ball, that defense. They just this is the third game in a row. I believe they pitched second half shutouts on defense. Got a ton of home games left in the home stretch. They're tough, man. They run the ball, physical run game, physical receivers on the outside. They block. They're beasts when they have the ball in their hands. Kittle, like you said, that's a guy that you forget who's arguably coming into this season was the best tight end if healthy. Now, obviously, is Kelsey. But it's just you got your hands full with that team on both sides of the ball, man. So
what do they do if they win? What do they do if they win? That was all
what
I was
I would
thinking about.
do.
I was on a treadmill this morning, and
Yeah.
all I was thinking about is Jimmy G is a free agent at the end of the season. They fuck around and win a Super Bowl this year, which seems like they have the makings to do it. What do? You do you try to trade Trey Lance? You're not going to get 3 firsts. You have to re-sign Jimmy G. What do you think you do?
You got to keep him.
I think you have to.
Yeah, you hoisted Lombardi like. You got to keep him. He's looking better, man. He's obviously making throws. And what Jimmy G has always been, quick reads, quick throws, accurate with the ball, in short spaces. But what you saw last night and even some of the previous games is his second reaction plays, like that second or maybe the 40-yard touchdown to Kittle, like him stepping up in the pocket, making that throw before the touchdown to Ayuk. He went through a couple of reads, came back to Ayuk. So if he can continue doing that and just, not fuck it up, honestly, with that defense and this run game, those weapons, tough team to beat.
Everybody's saying he's doing nothing. Trey Lance wasn't able to do shit with his. I mean, and maybe it's because he didn't know what he was doing. But Jimmy G wins the Super Bowl with the Niners. AQ Shipley, they have to keep him. And then what do they do with Trey Lance, who they just traded 3 number 1s for, basically? What happens then in the future?
That's a great question. I've been the biggest fan of Jimmy. I love what he does. He's the perfect.
What's your dad text you last night? What's your dad? Did you say your
Yeah,
dad?
my dad texted me. He goes, "What's wrong with this? Like, this guy's a good quarterback. What is wrong with this?"
The standard yinzer. I don't know what we're looking for. Oh, this guy does win fucking
This guy
games.
doesn't win, right? Yeah, he texted me that, and he's right. Like, I've been a fan of his. He manages the game well. He knows that system in and out. That system is quick throws. So, like, to expect him to be fucking throwing it down the field all the time, like, that's not what that system is. It's run the ball, manage the game, play action, short stuff. That's what they do, and he does it very, very well. What you do with Trey Lance moving forward, get rid of him. I don't know.
Somebody will take a chance on him, though. You look around the
Yeah.
league, and what do we have? 12, 13, maybe good quarterbacks. So you're like, we're good with him. So he's probably going to be, if you look at the upcoming quarterbacks in the draft.
Oh, yeah, I guess this year not that good.
Yeah,
No.
and even who knows what it's going to be the following year. So this guy was a number 3 pick, haven't had a ton of reps under his belt, but somebody will take a chance on him.
Drake May's coming out next year.
He's unbelievable.
Drake May, North
I mean,
Carolina.
that's one.
Well, then there's also that other guy.
It's always high.
Next year, Quinn Ewers
Remember
might
2
be
years
out.
ago, we had 5, no-brainers. We had Mac Jones,
Zach
we had
Wilson.
Trey Lance, Zach Wilson,
Yeah.
Trevor
Fields.
Lawrence.
Zach Wilson, huh?
Just, you know what I
Fields.
mean? Fields.
Hey, Zach Wilson.
Dougie.
They averaged, there was somebody that tweeted it, and then
Oh, yeah.
ESPN NFL found it. The Jets averaged 2.77 inches per play in the second half.
Unbelievable.
Sorry,
Have to bench
they
them.
fucking stink.
Shout out
That's a real stat.
to Chris Tires. Is in football season, so Chris Towers is CBS. That baby
There it
Chris.
is. Way to go,
Thank
Chris.
you, Chris, for doing the math. However many plays
Verified.
they only are able to get 2 yards. So, I mean, it's probably pretty quick math to be able to do it. But 2.77 inches per play in the second half against Patriots. Patriots have been able to do that to a lot of people. Remember, the Colts had negative 2 yards in the entire first quarter, and then
Right.
the second quarter they didn't have much against the Patriots, and that's why Jeff Saturday is currently coaching the Indianapolis Colts because Jim Irsay saw what was happening on the field with all the money he spent and said, "I ain't hiring any of the motherfuckers that are on this current. This ain't. We need somebody new. We need new ideas. That ship has sailed," is probably what Irsay actually said. Brings in Saturday, takes the wrath of it, but the Patriots have humbled a lot of people. Zach Wilson and Jets offense. Do you feel like you disappointed your defense? No. Thanks.
No.
Shut the fuck up. Is that your mom? Watch it.
Yeah, basically.
Like Zach Wilson, the way he kind of handled that, I think we all thought was very immature. Like, you're a quarterback of an NFL team. Even if you don't believe it in your actual heart of hearts, you should know that the proper answer there is, hey, I disappointed myself. I disappointed my coaches. Like, there's just a way to go about leading, especially when times are very tough or you look terrible against a division opponent. It's like just classic leadership is to do, thumb pointer. Like, hey, this
It's on
is
me.
In the media part, the reporter actually gave them kind of a tough question, I guess. Like, hey, do you think you disappointed the defense or whatever? And I think that's a little bit of a coming with a little jest from the reporter. But it was actually a layup for him to be like, not just the defense, because then he can cut a promo about the fans, how supportive the fans have been, the organization going all in, the ownership. Like, it was literally almost like hey, would you like to cut a promo that gets almost all heat off of you right now for at least another week? Here's a question. And he chose not to do it. And ultimately, they're probably going to end up with Flacco playing for them again.
100%.
And who knows how Joey Flacco would do. AQ was friends with him,
He's a dog.
teammates with him. I'm excited to hear his thoughts. But this is what the Patriots do to people, though.
Yeah.
The Patriots make people go, fuck, we need to change everything because how bad to make them look. And you guys are in the playoffs right now, and you have no chance of winning the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah, we're like, 30, maybe 28 other teams, but really we're only like, 8 or 9 because we're going to the playoffs unlike every single team on this table, or in this studio, rather.
Dolphins.
I got a lot of teams.
Yeah, he's got 18 teams,
I probably have 3 teams in the playoffs.
Yeah, if Gumpy was here, absolutely, then he would be in on this, and who knows with Bruce's Giants. But with Jimmy G, like talking about, what AQ said with, a lot of short throws and the scheme of Shanahan, and like Darius said, like someone would take a chance on him. Now, if they win the Super Bowl, is Jimmy G going to take a pay cut to stay?
No, fuck
hell
no.
no.
Especially after they were trying to run his ass out of
Yeah,
town.
exactly.
So
If I'm Jimmy G, I'm taking
max
deal, give it to me. Now, he might be a much nicer paisano who says, like, yeah, I understand what you guys had to do, what you had to do. I missed that one throw in the Super Bowl, which has led to maybe Tom Brady coming here, maybe Aaron Rodgers coming here literally every single year. And when I'm hurt, we don't win. So whenever Jimmy G gets hurt, they don't win games. And they were pretty open about, like, we like Jimmy G, but he has seemingly got hurt on a pretty regular occasion. We can't have him out of there. So I don't know. I don't think he'll take a team-friendly deal because of how it's all played out. But if he does, I hope there's a full statue put up of him of like the morally correct thing to do at all times. Paisano Jimmy G, who's known for going on dates with adult actresses.
Yeah,
like
right.
that's an incredible human that I don't think we'll ever find again.
And he might, but I don't think so either. So just to unite the Jets and the Niners, would he go and play for Bob Saleh? And then would Shanahan say like, hey, my scheme's still unbelievable. We still have Debo, Ayuk, Kittle,
Christian.
McCaffrey. Like, sure, Trey Lance has only played, a game and a half because he got hurt in the second game. First game, he was in a downpour.
Do you win a Super Bowl, bro?
I don't know.
You win a Super Bowl and then you just let the quarterback
Has
walk
that
up.
ever happened?
I don't know. It'd be interesting.
Trent Dilfer,
Maybe
with
with
the Ravens back in the early 2000s.
Dilfer's so bad at football, though. And Jimmy G is good.
Lipscomb Academy. Let's go
Massive
Mustangs.
fan of Dilfer.
He's friend of the program now.
Massive fan of Dilfer. I really am. He's a great head coach. He is so bad at football. That team could have won 3-0 in that Super Bowl, if you remember. But
Defense was.
they're unbelievable. Ray Lewis said
We're kind of getting back to that now. The football is kind of like that nowadays. AQ, why is that? Offense is not as good anymore? What is the deal?
It's a great question. I mean, I've been trying to figure that out watching all season long. I think
This is your first year as like a pundit, too. So I assume this has been a fascinating thing because all we ever talked about before is how good offense is. I just want to let you know,
I know.
in this particular profession, as you were, getting coffee and doing the cards and stuff after a 12-year career and everything like that, going back to the bottom of the totem pole, we're talking about this offense, this offense, this offense. Who has a defense that can go to the Super Bowl? Now it's like, yeah, that defense can go. Who has an offense that can go? It's very different, and I don't understand it at all, I don't think.
Well, that's been one of the coolest things for me this year doing this thing is being able to study all of the offenses and seeing all the different offenses. And you are seeing yards per carry at the highest clip it's ever been in NFL history.
Oh, I saw that on ESPN, I think NFL Live or something.
Yep.
Like that.
But it is. Its run game is crazy. I mean, they are really hammering the run game.
Is he stealing Dan stuff?
Yeah, it sounds like
Is this who he was subtweeting?
Oh, no.
Oh, my God.
Is he coming at me?
No, you need to stop stealing his shit.
Yeah.
though.
Jesus.
Sorry, Dan.
DQ Shipley.
But the run game is becoming more of a focal point.
It's becoming more of a focal point, and I think defenses too. I think defenses used to blitz a lot more, and now they're staying back, playing more coverage. So it's a combination of a bunch of different things, and you're seeing less points. But it is every week. I'm like, man, like I need some more big plays. You don't see it. It's just
For
kind of
TV purpose.
Yeah,
For
exactly.
TV purposes, a bad game is a great game normally for the defense and a terrible game for the offenses. Why do you think it is? Do you think just coverages are getting better? Do you think matchups are getting better? Do you think this is a generation thing that grew up in the RPO game? So maybe like the D-line and linebackers are able to play it better? Or what do you think it is?
I think it's a combination thing, especially the coverages. You see a lot more too high coverages, forcing offenses to go the long, hard way, as opposed to when we were playing the league, it was a lot more, single high coverages on first and second down. Now every down can be a passing down. Then as far as run game, defensively, when I'm watching the film, the run fits, it's like, are they even going over run fits anymore? Like, it's the gap integrity is terrible. So I think it's a combination.
What's that all about?
He's right. No, he's right. You see a lot of people, we always say take the easy way out, right? Like if a guy's got the backside A gap, he has to squeeze that backside A gap. And when they get that backside scoop, we talk about the backside scoop, center, backside.
Hell yeah.
Right?
Single, double, triple
Well, he's
outside.
got to stay between them. And when that center leaves, be able to keep that and keep forcing everything back. But if he takes the back door, that's where your huge holes are.
What's that one block that we really like showcasing whenever we see it?
Can opener?
Oh, yeah, it's talking about can
Boom!
opener.
Can opener.
Jackknife.
Yeah, it's talking about can over, boom, and then somebody can slip inside and I can
Scoop
get
in.
up and get a guard and triple teamer.
Yeah.
Single in the middle, double in between them, and then triple is tackle tight end.
Exactly.
Man.
Single is center guard.
Yeah. And these are all
Double
zone,
is-
these are all zone
Concepts,
combos, right?
Yeah, exactly. Single is center guard. Double is guard tackle.
Bingo.
Triple is tackle tight end.
Bingo. Look,
Run
learn.
zone to the right. They run a little triple there. Get up to the second level.
Yep.
How about that?
Little can opener block.
Let's
Fucking
go.
Resume ready, man. It's gonna be
Let's
some job
go.
openings.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Let's go.
It's gonna be yeah.
No, I ain't coaching shit.
Oh, see?
I would have to be head coach. If I'm
Yeah.
doing anything, that's why I have so much respect for Jeff Saturday. If I'm going in there, got to be head coach. I'm sorry, I can't answer this guy. It's going to be tough for me to do that. Well, you sure don't want to be special teams coordinator? Hell no. There's no way I can do it. Saw Bubba Ventrone this weekend,
Dog.
Pittsburgh guy.
Oh, yeah.
I hope
Patriots
everybody that
legend.
plays for the Colts, has seen his film. Like, I hope at
Oh,
some
my
point
God.
Yes.
Jeff Saturday shows his film and says, like, hey, The guy that is coaching you is a fucking dog. Also very smart. He is a football savant type brain. I watched him make a play this weekend that was awesome that nobody would ever really talk about. It was 4th and 2. Punt safe, okay? Punt safe means we're leaving our defense on the field, basically. Just get a punt off. We have no return set up. Just make sure they punt it. We're probably going to end up with a fair catch or a 2-yard return. 4th and 2, nobody get near the punter. We don't need a roughing or running into the kicker. This is basically our D lineman just staying in, no fakes, punt it and go. They take something happens like a false start or 5-yard penalty, goes back. 4th and 7. Normally, coaches aren't paying attention enough or the team isn't bought in enough. Bubba Ventrone goes running down the field and he goes, makes a call, something. Boom, boom, boom. Sub out the punt safe team. Sub in special teams core unit in there. Run a return. Kiki QT gets like a 15 or 20-yard return out of it out of nowhere, sparks everything. And it was like that strictly because Bubba had everybody paying attention, first of all. So it's not just him paying attention. Everybody on the special teams had to be paying attention at that exact time. And whenever he makes the call, he does it. And then they have to execute it. He's a great fucking coach. I do not have the wherewithal to focus on all that stuff. Fucking somebody won't be paying attention. Just keep safe. That's what I would. Let's just get the ball back. But instead, he was out there. He was awesome to kind of watch, and he is
yoked. He's got it.
Stacked. I mean, his fucking neck. He could go cover a kick right now. I wonder why he didn't. I wonder if it was. Did he get too old? What was it?
Probably got banged up. He played
so hard.
Yeah, he was. I was teammates with him in New England, and he was. Put him at L5, R5, and you run down the middle of it. At that point, it was probably 3-4 man wedges.
Is he at least stacked?
Yeah, that guy. He's exactly.
Yeah, he was the wedge.
I got him one at the time. I remember getting him once, and I felt real good about it.
He's a Pittsburgh guy.
Oh, yeah.
Because
he played against him in high school.
He was Coach P's keys every week, like special
game record.
Like, he was going to be on there for sure. But you probably don't even remember this. We were in L.A. for the Super Bowl, and I was talking to you about potentially getting into coaching. Like, hey, man, I'm talking to some teams, blah. He's like, But you will regret that about a year from now. I was like, good point. I had a couple conversations.
I said that too?
Yeah. It might have been on the way to that the FanDuel thing, the Fan Fest or whatever it was.
Well, I'm happy you didn't. I'm happy you chose to do this year instead. Now, you might get into coaching. Who knows?
Maybe at some point.
But the way the whole – because I feel like I'm a pretty curious person, so I enjoy learning about how things work and why things work. And with special teams, I don't have to pay attention to a lot of other stuff. So I'm talking to the building, like talking to a lot of people around the building. And whenever I talk to these coaches that are at the bottom level, like what they're doing. Now, they're in their 20s normally, though. They're like early 20s or so, mid-20s. What they're doing, it's like, okay, so I know I'm never doing that. Like, it was just kind of like a thing that was made up. And then you see ex-players start doing it, and they're like, hey, this is where I got to start at. It's here. I'm like, do not listen. It might sound fun first couple weeks. I've talked to these people that have been doing this week 10, week 11, week 12. It is not fun to be doing this, and your job doesn't change. It is every day you're doing the same thing. It's Groundhog's Day, and it's very low level. So that's probably why I said that. If I held you back from accomplishing your dreams,
great job.
I appreciate you. It was a good motivational speech. I think that's why I was so excited about the Jeff Saturday hiring. It's like, here we go. We'll be able to hopefully keep the best brains in football, as opposed to being scared away from not wanting to do actual bullshit, like actual busy work bullshit that means nothing. And AQ, I think you had a different experience or whatever, but that's where it's at, and I'm happy that that's hopefully getting changed a little bit, hopefully.
And that's why it makes so much sense. You talk about how long you guys played. Like, guys who are in that position who didn't play in the league, like, you do still have stuff to learn. So, like, those guys understand that, hey, I'm 27. Like, I'm going to have to do this for the next maybe 10 to 13 years before I get a coordinator job or, a head coaching, offer or whatever the case may be. But for, like, guys like you who you go in and you start back, like, you shouldn't have to just defer to the head coach because it's like the same thing. It's like if you're butting heads and you know football, you maybe know more than the guy who's 2 levels above you, but you can't fucking publicly go at him or say you have to just fall in line, and that's why it makes sense that guys would be like, all right, well, fuck this, I'm not doing that. Like, even if I know whatever he's talking about isn't right, that's not what we need to do to win, I can't say anything, I can't do anything. Why would I just stay and do this Groundhog Day, day after day? It's bullshit.
It keeps a lot of great football minds out of the NFL, I think. Personally, I think
that's intentional too. because it is a level of insecurity. And don't get me wrong,
There's great coaches.
I was about to say I have great respect for coach, whether you play the game or not. Like if you can teach the game, if you can do all those things, like that matters, and I respect the time that's put in and all that. But AQ, for example, he's 21, 22. He has another 12 years to go to actually play, and in Brady's words, to go. He's doing tours basically at that time while the other guy.
Hey, father was in the military, career in a military family. He means no disrespect.
You know what I mean?
Do not attack him.
So playing over a decade in the league while these other guys are gaining experience doing those other things. So it matters, but you should come in and going into the military. If you go and just get a 4-year college degree, you're going to come into the military at a higher rank than somebody who just comes in out of high school. And that has nothing to do. So if you actually playing football for a long time, you should skip the line in some terms. But So this Jeff Saturday
Not every
thing,
player, though.
And every player can't coach.
That's
sure.
And there's going to be guys that lack self-awareness who think they can coach, and they're not good coach.
Yeah.
And I think everybody's going to tell them they're not
sure.
good coaches, and there's going to be that type of thing. But there are guys that have played in the league who have been scared to get back in the league and stay in the league because they don't want to go through all of the because they know themselves, right? Am I going to be able to say, just bite my tongue and say, yeah, that's the right way to do things when I know it's not a feasible option? Like guys just opt not to do it. So that's why I think the Saturday thing's so fucking important. You've been there, I guess. So I guess we should defer to you.
Here's the interesting thing too, and this is the way that I've always, my 1 year spent there, right? You leave no stone unturned, right? You go, like, if you're playing against Dennis Allen, right, in New Orleans, and that was a team that we saw twice a year. Like, we're going back and looking at film of him playing against us in Arizona when he's coaching in Oakland with the Raiders. And it's like, hold on a sec. You don't think he's fucking changed something here in 10 years, right? First of all. Second of all, the minute this game starts, you could have prepared and practiced everything that they've ever shown on tape. There's going to be something different. After that first drive and you get smacked in the mouth and you smack them in the mouth, then what happens? Then it becomes a game of fucking chess. Every single series you have to adjust. You got to look at the tablet. You got to do this, that, and the other. And so what they did the previous 4 weeks or what they did the previous 14 fucking years that we looked at might not even show up that day that you just spent 7 fucking plays in practice working on. And so the whole thing is you chase ghosts, and half the time they don't show up in the game.
Why do you think you'd get back into coaching if you were able to have an actual
Boom.
There's IQ fixing a
grinder, doing the dirty
12
work.
years, 12 years, okay, 12 years, obviously, in the NFL, numerous different programs, organizations, ends up winning a Super Bowl. Welcome to coaching. Fix our fucking printer, you fat lord.
Now.
We got a paper jam, Coley. And put
Not
that
that you
fucking
should-
mask
Put your
on.
mask on, right? Come on.
By the way, like, we're not saying that we don't think AQ should have to do this. As a part of a team, he would want to do this if the printer wasn't working. But it's like the menial tasks that you are basically being laid out.
That's the fucking sheet that I ripped out.
Great work.
Hey, thank you for fixing
I
it.
fixed gold star for that.
But it is like your job description is like, okay, you'll
there
fix
it is.
printers.
Whoa.
Competitive advantage. Jason goes. Jason goes. That was actually a play that they ran in
That's a car.
1964.
That was Dennis Allen's play from Oakland.
But it's like your job description. They're like, here's your job. You're going to be fixing printers. You're going to be getting coffee. You're going to be drawing up play cards. Special teams are going to need a look guy. You're going to be playing nose tackle on special teams. And it's like, man, I didn't play in the NFL for over a fucking decade to come here and get coffee for a guy who might be the best coach of all time. Maybe.
Might be.
Maybe. I don't know. But also, it's. I think this is good. Would you ever get back into coaching or no? If you were giving an actual position.
I mean, you've had plenty of former players talk about it that have given this thing a try and talked about, what is it, desk guarding, right? Like they say desk guarding.
Chasing ghosts is a great way to also describe it.
Chasing ghosts, doing that stuff, right? You said if we can figure out a way to be much more efficient and make this a normal hour job, like this does not need to be a get in at 3 a.m. and beat John Gruden into the building like they used to in Philadelphia, and then, hey, he's still here at 12:15 at night. Oh, got to beat him. I got to stay. Like, right? Like there's this old adage that that's the way this needs to be done, and I don't think there is. I think you can be very efficient, get your stuff done in a normal, reasonable time, and if that were the case...
What's happening right now? All these coaches that have grown up in the coaching trees are fucking swearing at their phones right now that are watching this because of what you're saying, or no?
Maybe.
Do they agree?
They don't have time. They're watching.
They're chasing ghosts. Do they believe, though, that it has to be done this way? Is that why they continue to do it?
I just
or
think
they
that's the
say,
only way they know.
Been done.
Yeah.
I think it's the only way they know, right? And so, like, a lot of these guys, even the young guys that have come, right? McVay was coaching, right? Like, I think his dad was comes from like the 70s and 80s trees,
San
right?
Fran, yeah.
San Fran, exactly,
Grandpa.
right? It's grandpa, right? Yeah, so like,
And then he grew up in Gruden.
Yeah.
right, and so that's all
wonder
they
if-
know. And if you think about a lot of these
Reach
coaches,
out.
they just keep circulating. They all just keep circulating. They all come from the same trees, and they all do, which is fine. Like, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it because there's obviously been a lot of successful people in that. But I also think there's another way. I think there's another way.
Yeah, and I'm excited to see what that is. Go ahead, Ty.
Do you think that, I mean, with there are a couple exceptions, but do you think that's also why younger head coaches don't necessarily have a bunch of former players on their staffs? Because like a guy who's just getting his first crack at being a head coach doesn't want some 13-year NFL vet right off his playing career coming in.
I would
and
assume
maybe-
AQ with like Zach Taylor.
Right.
No offense to Zach Taylor. I'm sure he's okay. But if you have like AQ, it's Zach Taylor's first year where they were not doing well. And AQ is running coffee and paper for whoever, and AQ just sees something that is blatantly dumb happening, say it publicly. A lot of the players are going to be like,
Exactly.
this is the guy.
Yeah, this guy doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. Like, D'Amico Ryans obviously was a good player, and he's the DC, but I mean, he kind of did get fast-tracked a little bit, but a lot of these younger guys, I feel like you don't see really any, I mean, with the exception of the Lions, you don't really see many former players on their staffs. And I think that's why, is because if they start losing, you don't need a guy being like, why the fuck are we doing this shit?
How'd you get your job?
Yeah.
That on paper, that seems like a good time. That's not possible in real life. Always a good convo whenever we can bring up Jeff Saturday and then talk about, everybody that just buried it who might end up benefiting from it. So that's awesome. That's a cool thing. Let's talk about Matt Rhule. He was on Good Morning Football. It was great to see him again. He's been living his life ever since he was fired from the Carolina Panthers after week 5, week 4, 3, 4.
Was it 4?
I think it was after week 4.
It might have been.
Early, fired. See you later. Steve Wilkes is going to take over now, interim head coach. They're going to get rid of Christian McCaffrey. They're going to get rid of Robbie Anderson because he's not happy with what's going on. They're still going to hang on to incredible players, though, and tell their fans that they're not tanking, although they are certainly looking at a brand-new future. Matt Rhule, we have not seen or heard from him. He makes an appearance on Good Morning Football wearing a sport coat, looking incredibly professional, and we appreciate the people at Good Morning Football for getting him on here because listening to him chat about what happened at Carolina was pretty enlightening, and I got to cover Matt Rhule whenever he was coaching Baylor against Texas Tech in the Texas Shootout, I believe. Cliff Kingsbury's last game coaching for Texas Tech before he would go on to become the Arizona Cardinals head coach. And then obviously Matt Rhule would leave Baylor after having an incredible amount of success and go become the Carolina Panthers head coach. So getting a chat with Matt Rhule, his players, and then hear his story a little bit, I always thought he was a cool guy. Thought he'd work in the NFL. Started in the NFL at the Giants way back whenever he was running papers and everything like that. Here is why he thinks it didn't work at Carolina. Let me know what your thoughts are on him potentially being a coach at either your college or your NFL team after listening to this answer.
I think when I look back at my time in Carolina,
Different
I look
voice
back
than
on it
expected.
fondly. I'll say that first. I think I'll always take away from it that no matter what level you coach, when I've coached at FCS, I've coached at Division III, I've coached at Group of 5, Power 5, and in the NFL, it always comes down to relationships. And if I could go back, I wish I would have done a better job in year 1 and year 2 of having really strong relationships with the players. And I can blame COVID and masks and all those things, but last year, at the end of last year, I got together with Shaq Thompson. I got together with Christian McCaffrey. And you know what? I went back to just being, Coach Matt. The guy that was coaching at Temple, the guy that was running around in T-shirt and shorts and having fun with it. And it didn't end the way I wanted it to. But I'm proud I never lost the locker room. I'm proud that those guys fought and stood up for me to the very end. And so I hope I get another chance to coach. I hope that I'll try to do some things better football-wise. But at the end of the day, relationships and players knowing, man, that you'll do whatever you can for them. That's the most important thing. That's who I've always been. It was great to get back to that just probably a little too late.
Because I'm an American man making American parts for American people.
Goddamn right.
Is that what you're getting out of that? Darius and AQ were having a little bit of a side conversation as this video. Matt Rhule, Penn State man, by the way. So I'm excited to hear how AQ can shit on one of his own like he did with Joe DiNardo, obviously. Darius, you hear that? What are your thoughts on it? Do you think he said, I don't want to blame COVID, where we weren't allowed to sit around each other or get to know anybody, and I couldn't even see their faces, see if they were smiling or anything like that. But there is something to people getting a job and thinking they got to act in a certain way.
For sure.
I wonder if there was a little bit of that whenever he got paid $70 million guaranteed to go coach in the NFL out of Baylor.
Hey, first of all, Matt Rhule's living a good life right now. But, I mean, it was good. I felt like he was kind of honest, little self-reflection. But relationships are important. And it's hard to kind of build those relationships, too, because, it is a cutthroat business. And you could be in the building, out of the building the next day. So that was interesting to hear that. But
Go ahead, AQ. Your thoughts on Matt Rhule. What is your... what is your...
Yeah, what's going on
I just
here?
would like everybody to know, it wasn't shown on camera. As he was speaking now, AQ is very close to him. I mean, he's like a foot and a half away from the thing. He's been saying, AQ couldn't keep it together.
All right.
AQ was like laughing like a little kid in a classroom that was sitting in the back of the room. Didn't think anybody could say, what are you laughing about?
Well, I'll say this, and this is props to you first, right? Like props of the fact that you never have changed really who you are whenever this thing has grown.
Appreciate that.
I don't understand why people think they need to, right? Like, okay, so it took them 2 years, 2.5 years to figure out, like, I just need to go back to being Coach Matt from Temple.
Coach Matt sounds
Coach
awesome.
Matt from Temple. Coach Matt from Temple got you to Coach Matt at Baylor and make a shit ton of money and may have a lot of success, which got you to $70 million.
With Coach Rhule.
Now you become, Coach Rhule. Now all of a sudden, we got to change everything we did.
I don't understand that either.
I don't either. I don't get it. Like,
why does it happen? You think it's an
happens all the
inferiority
time.
complex, or you think that's what it is? Do you think they lack of confidence? Do you think they feel like they have to portray an image? Because it's kind of what's happening with Russell Wilson right now, right? Like Russell Wilson's acting like a movie character of what an NFL quarterback's supposed to be, and it's kind of getting pointed out now. Oh, this guy's fugazi, this guy's fraudulent. It's almost like people do that when they get a role. They feel like they have to act how they're supposed to act in that position. But you would hope that somebody would be mentally tough enough not to give in, especially if they're going to be an NFL head coach. But it happens all the fucking time.
All the time. And I've played for coaches that have done that, have completely switched, completely changed. Yeah. It's like, well, that guy, you're going to love that guy. Well, then I get in the room with that guy, and it's almost like that guy sat in the back of the room for 4 years as a coordinator and assistant or whatever it is, right? And it's like, I don't like that. We're not doing that when I'm head coach. We're not doing that. And so when you lose 45-7 and you get up there and you're like, we lost that game because you didn't wear closed-toed shoes. That's the reason, right? And so, you know what I mean? Like, and so there's all these things that happen. I think you sit in the back of the room and you're like, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to allow that. It's getting too loose in here. I got to rein it back in. And then you do that and you lose the group.
Yeah,
when you get in that locker room, like it's more important that you are yourself, that you're authentic. When you're coming into you're dealing with a bunch of pros, you're dealing with a bunch of grown ass men. So for you to have that respect week in and week out, and shit's gonna go bad, shit's gonna go good. It's hard as fuck to win on any level, but especially in the NFL. So being yourself, being your authentic self, because you can't start one way and things are going well and you turn into a different coach, or things are getting bad and now you turn into a hard ass. Like, it doesn't work like that. You lose respect immediately. So I don't know why people do it. You got to stay true to yourself as much as you can.
COVID probably didn't help, right?
No way.
COVID probably didn't help, and he's a college guy, so who knows what people are going to think going in there. But they always say, like, the locker. You heard like Rex Ryan. Anybody that's been around the NFL will say the locker room will know if you're being real or not. I honestly believe that the NFL locker room might be the most difficult crowd in the history of crowds, and a head coach has to speak to said crowd every single day and get everybody to buy in. You're talking about people from every walk of life, every single background, all having their own stubbornness, because that's probably what made them in there, and you got to get them all to buy into one message. That's why during Hard Knocks with the Lions, that comedian went in there, as he was walking in, I got uncomfortable. I'm like, oh no, I've seen this before, this is going to go bad. Him crushing on there, I was like, all right, that dude's good. That dude is very good. It's a tough room. And I honestly believe that an NFL locker room has the guys and the leaders in there that can point out a fugazi. And if other people can't point out a fugazi, somebody's going to say, isn't it interesting that and then blah, 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 and then, oh, yeah. And then that starts like rolling into the whole thing. You just got to be your true self, I think, since day one. Or if you're going to be a fugazi, you have to be the fugazi at all times.
It's hard to do.
You're going to get caught. At some moment, you're going to get caught. You're going to be tired. You're going to be angry. You're going to have something go on, and you're going to be caught not being the person that you've been trying to portray forever. So if you're always yourself, it's a lot easier. I appreciate the compliment. And people ask me why. I don't think I'm smart enough to. Like, I don't think I'm smart enough to change. And also, if you change, at some point, I'm going to resort back to this, and then everybody's going to be like, what is that? That's like, you're almost setting yourself up for future failure when you're not your authentic self. But for some reason, when people get put in positions of power, they feel like they got to change. It happens in all walks of life. Not every coach is like this. It sounds like we're burying all coaches.
No, you do have to change to some extent.
I agree. Evolve.
Yeah, exactly. Evolve. That's the better. But you're still authentically yourself. So when you go from being, a rookie to now you become a captain of a team, there are things that you have to do differently, but still, be yourself. Like, that shouldn't be that hard to do. And then I hate when you hear coach, I went and connected with Christian McCaffrey and Shaq. Like,
it's a star of your team.
Yeah, like
should have done that 3
you
years ago.
Like, what are we doing here?
That's interesting, man. It honestly is. And it must have been the price tag on his head that made him think and act a different way. Might think he had to be something different, but it certainly did not work out.
Well, didn't you say from the get-go, too, like that you hope he was going to have success, and you saw a path where, like, he definitely could, but, like, he's a hard ass. He's kind of just all about
Football.
ball.
Loves
exactly. Ball. And, like, when you get into the NFL, I mean, obviously it wasn't to the magnitude where it's like Saban, where he was acting, when he got to the Dolphins, he was acting like everyone was 18 and he had his, thumb down on everyone. Like, so it wasn't really like that, but like, you can't do that when you get into the NFL. And granted, he's making a shitload of money, but guys are adults. They're just not going to put up with that bullshit. They don't care how much success you had at Baylor or wherever. Like, it just
you got guys coming out of Bama.
Yeah.
Where's your coach? Baylor. All right.
Yeah.
We would have won by 60 against you
right.
guys, I think. But another fascinating case study of college coaches in the NFL that never gets brought up, Petrino was the coach of the Falcons.
Yep.
There was almost an actual, from what I've been told, I'm not going to say any names that told me, there was almost a of Petrino by somebody that nobody would expect on the Atlanta Falcons team, because somebody had to answer a phone call from their wife on like a bus or something like that. And Petrino's like, nobody can talk. Nobody's allowed to speak on the bus rides. Nobody was allowed to speak at dinner. Like, it was like a full college thing. Night before a meal, nobody's allowed to speak at these things. Somebody had to answer a call from their wife. And like all hell broke loose, and he almost got his ass beat. From what I've been told, he almost got his ass beat by. And then I think he left in the middle of the night.
Yeah, he did.
In the middle of the night or something like. Yeah. So I heard.
Saban fucking left us too.
Yeah.
Man.
That's right.
Yeah.
It was also a similar situation per sources as well. But with Matt Rhule, like, just looking at his whole career in the Panthers, he had Teddy Bridgewater during COVID, then he had Sam Darnold, and then he had Baker Mayfield. Like, it's not as if Joe Brady left halfway through, the guy he hired to be his OC.
Yeah,
like,
got fired.
Got fired.
Yeah,
Excuse
got
me.
fired. Yeah.
But it just seemed like he didn't really have a chance from the beginning, and not to mention when he took the Panthers head coaching job, Tom Brady wasn't playing for the Buccaneers, so it was kind of a situation where he got absolutely fucked
bamboozled
from the get-go. Yeah.
I think he's going to go back to college. He's going to go to a big college program.
Go back to Coach Matt.
Everybody's thinking he's going to Nebraska.
I think that makes a lot of sense.
It does.
West Virginia makes a lot of sense too.
Give me Deion at West Virginia, please. Yesterday, he gave a speech to his team about going home for Thanksgiving. He posted it. It was like, there's like a 2022 great, like, that's a guy who cares about his team. Like, as I was watching the video, there's a guy that cares about his team, relates to his team. Also, a little bit of fucking like hard nose. Like, hey, we're not fucking around. Like, I think a lot of people think that Prime is not somebody that holds his team accountable, but I think any content that you see come out of from that place, and now most of it's coming from Prime and everything like that, I think he is like somebody that feels comfortable enough and feels an obligation to hold people accountable almost. Like, hey, I'm going to teach you things that you weren't taught whenever you were growing up. This is something that I feel obligated to do. I can do because of what my resume says. Prime is good everywhere. In any neighborhood in the world, Prime can walk into. I'm not just talking about hood. I'm talking about, like, he can walk into a billionaire fucking. Prime's good everywhere. If you get him a part of your program, I think you try your best, especially after what I saw at Jackson State. Take him to West Virginia, Mountain Ballman.
First undefeated season, 11-0.
Yeah, exactly.
Jackson State.
And not just recruiting.
Yeah, and relationship, that's a part of it too. It's not being like, okay, I'm going to connect, we're going to be the same, but being able to let the players know you care about them. And then when you're giving them, like, he gives them like real game. Like, when things are going on and certain, hey, don't do this. See the big picture. And I was around Prime coming out of college. And I thought kind of the same thing, just because you saw primetime. That was all you saw. But
High step in.
Yeah. But then actually seeing Deion and knowing, how disciplined, how regimented he was, how serious he took preparation in football, and then having that. And I'm sure a bunch of these coaches are doing this on the college level, but coaches like high school, collegiate, pro, like they are very, very important, to have around young men. So
I like Deion a lot. Somebody's going to hire him.
Oh yeah.
Some big school is going to hire him. And I think a lot of people are going to say, oh, he sold out or whatever. It's like, no, I think he opened up more avenues, more doors for people to go to the SWAC and then get a big job. So it becomes another thing. Not that it's not a big deal to begin with, but I think what he has done, and if he goes somewhere else, it's good overall, as opposed to the people that just want to look at negatively. But everybody's saying Rhule's going to Nebraska, though. It seems like it's a storied tradition. They can pay him a lot of money, and he'll be able to do whatever the fuck he wants, basically, in a conference that's only growing and getting bigger with the, USC and UCLA potentially coming into the fold. I mean, it's almost set up perfectly for him out there in Nebraska.
And when Nebraska was really kicking ass in the mid 90s, late 90s, the black shirts, their defense was unbelievable, and it hasn't been that in a long time. And that's his, bread and butter, toughness and all that kind. It just makes a lot of sense. And after the fiasco with Scott Frost, they just need a hard reset with a guy who has proven that he can do it. It just, I don't know. And like you mentioned with the boosters, Nebraska, for, whatever anyone wants to say about them, they fucking love football there and care about it more than just about anything.
And they have stunk.
Long time.
Shout out to the boy, by the way, Will Compton.
Yep. Shout out.
Signed with the Atlanta Falcons. Good luck out there, Will.
We'll get him.
Hey, go cover a kick, Will. Let's go. They need your leadership down there.
Yeah, and maybe Nebraska will, hire him on Saturday after they get embarrassed on Friday. We'll see. I don't know.
Who they got on Friday?
Well, they got the Heroes game with Iowa,
Iowa's going to end up in the
Kinnick
Big
Stadium.
Ten championship game.
Oh my God, awesome! What a time to be alive! What a great country we live in.
Patrice is going to go 8 of 19. They're going to score
72
6 points.
yards, probably 2 picks. Defense will probably force 4 or 5 turnovers. Torrey Taylor will have 6-7 punts inside the 10.
Hell yeah.
He didn't make the Ray guy.
No, he didn't.
Really?
But he has openly said that he doesn't give a shit about awards and
Good.
Ray Guy specifically. So there was no way
That makes me like him even more,
Yeah.
by the way. No, rest in peace to Ray Guy. Obviously, thank you for what you did for the punting position. But the way awards are chosen in that thing, just as somebody that has been forced to rent a suit and get my parents out of work to go down to Orlando to go to the ESPN award show.
Where we met.
In which AQ and I did meet. We tore it down there first.
Oh, what a night.
The last people into the hotel. They had somebody waiting for us to check us off to make sure we were safe. We're the last people back into the hotel. Me and AQ, first night we meet each other face to face. I'd heard of them.
Outland?
I won Remington.
Nice.
Whoa.
Best center in the country. It wasn't on the show. They won it the night before the show, so you just had to sit through the whole fucking show.
Oh God.
It was a good time down
They
there.
announced it. They're like, and also.
And also award winner. We had a blast down there, though.
Yeah, we did.
Ran into a guy that I work with now, too, out and about at one particular place.
Yeah, we saw him.
Old Herbie. I'm at Herb Street. That was like the
Oh,
coolest
no
thing.
way.
Yeah, AQ knew him because Herbie had called Penn State games before. At that stage, Herbie wasn't calling Thursday Night Football at that point for our team, so I hadn't met Herbie yet. And it was probably early in the night or whatever. We went to a little bar in the back in Orlando, and he was sitting in the corner. I go, holy shit, Herb Street. I think I said, holy shit, Herb Street's here. And he goes, oh, yeah, I know him. Let's go say hi. I don't know if you knew him or not at that time. You sold that you did. Great conversation. He was a fucking great guy.
Great dude.
Had a drink together, walked out of there, went to another spot, then another spot,
Go ahead.
then another spot, then another spot. We had a good time. It was literally magic since day one, old AQ and I. Went to an after-hours bar, I believe. Ooh. This is an award show. ESPN award show. We go back in there.
What time do you think Tebow checked in that night?
Yeah, Tebow had a whole team.
7:30.
You remember his whole team he had with him?
Yeah, he did. There was a couple people that had teams there.
You know,
Tebow was a big.
He was a big deal.
fucking
Yes,
deal.
he was a big deal.
He introduced
Fucking
himself
Beatles.
to all of us, though. He was very nice to all of us, but he had his whole team. They were sitting at another section while all of us were there. Colt McCoy was a dude. Colt was just cool as fuck, just walking around. Who was running back out of Georgia?
Oh,
Sean.
no Sean.
No
Marino.
Sean Marino. So cool. I think No Sean. We saw No Sean.
Yeah, we saw him out.
No Sean was in it. No Sean was awesome. He was incredible. You remember how good he was at fucking Georgia?
incredible.
God.
He had so much wiggle. That was a good time down there. But anyways, we weren't the right three people to be down there for that award. There was certainly three other punters that were better, and I think the Augusta something committee were the ones that picked the finals, and then Ray picked the winner out of the finalists. Out of the three finalists, I was clearly, like, everything was – I had more punts longer than 50 yards than the other guy had, who was just – it punts in general.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it wasn't even one of those things. Ray picked the other guy to win, and it was at that moment I was like, yeah, this is why I fucking hate awards forever. High school, I'm the only kid basically out of my high school that's gotten offers in like 3 sports in the history of the place. Finalist of Male Athlete of the Year for my own high school at Plum High School, okay? No, it's like these awards I've lost on a regular basis, which has made me hate them all. The Ray Guy one where I had to sit through the fucking ESPN award, hour and a half afterwards in a fucking clown suit, sitting there. Bowden gave a full speech, remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Tebow gave a full speech.
Yeah, a lot of speeches.
A lot of speeches. We're just sitting there.
Yikes.
Fucking Tim McAfee, Sally McAfee are like, get us the fuck out of here. One of the first ones. So I like that Tory Taylor has that mindset. And Tory needs to know, like, in the history of the Ray Guy, and I haven't looked into it as much because I didn't care about the award either after I left. I don't think any of the winners have gone on to have good professional careers. I might be wrong. I haven't looked into it enough, but I know, like, from my class, the class before, 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 the class before. Like, it doesn't mean translate to anything. So I like that he has that feeling, but I think it's kind of bullshit he wasn't a finalist. The guy fucking won games for the team. Is that not an important punter?
Yeah.
Is that not an award-winning punter? You tell me what else we're judging for.
Yeah, and it just emphasizes what you've said. Like, the award doesn't mean shit. It's not real. Like, he has, like, 10 punts inside the 6 this year. I don't know how many inside the 20. Like, he has This is the worst offense in the history of college football. And
Still won games.
And they're about to go to the fucking Big Ten championship. Yeah. Why? Because their special teams and their defense is fucking unbelievable. It's a travesty. It's a joke. But, yeah, I mean, he doesn't care, and he said it.
All right, Tori, we might create an award. An award
we
here.
go.
We might create a punting award.
Yeah, there's really. I mean, there's only like a couple
What's that?
that are good that have won the Ray Guy.
Yeah, legit. I don't
Fucking
think
Wisnowski.
Mitch won? That's good. I'm fucking happy to hear Mitch won one.
Who won it
He's
last
a
year?
dog.
Nobody won.
That's
last
what I
year.
thought. Yeah. It's tough go for the Ray Guy Award, I'd say.
Rest in peace to Ray, not his. We're talking about the award.
Award, that's what I said.
The guy who got drafted to the Bills.
And the guy that won the year before.
Some Mark.
Presley. I didn't know Presley won. I'm happy for him.
They're saying the kid from Michigan State's going to win it this year.
I haven't seen it. That's something I should put more time into, is like college football kicking and punting. I should do that at the end of the year.
You should.
Yeah.
I should rank my top 5 kickers and punters from around the country. And I'm not going to have them be top 5. I'm just going to say, I'm not going to have them in order because situations are situational. Like some punters aren't going to be able to have as big of an average because the way their team operates, they're only kicking with a short field. Some teams aren't going to be able to have as big of an average because their offense stinks, so they're kicking with a full. Like there's so many different things. I'll do like my top 5 guys that I think are guys.
Yeah, like a tier.
That'll be a guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. These are my people that I think are guys.
Yeah, and you got to leave the Michigan State guy out of it because he didn't break up that fight between him and the Michigan player.
Good point.
That was said to me by somebody when that fight was talking about, and I disagreed internally, but did not feel as if the fight needed to take place about the position of the other Michigan State players during that Michigan State-Michigan fight in the tunnel. I would like to be on record as stating that any of those other Michigan State players, you would have to be a 5th-year, 6th-year senior captain. Anybody else on that team caught on film I think it's a bad look if you are saying, hey, boys, this guy. That's going to be a tough, unless you're a 6th year or 7th year now, which you can be, I think, with the COVID year. Senior, I don't think anybody else could have been in the position to potentially do that. But nonetheless, cooler heads need to prevail at all times.
Amen.
Hey, Q, you guys got in a fight in that tunnel, didn't you, Penn State?
We never did, but
No, Penn State did.
Penn State did?
Ohio State did first,
yeah.
then Penn State, and then the Michigan State one, 3 in a row.
I could see how it could happen. I've been in that tunnel.
What?
I guess
Hundreds of years.
How the hell could that happen?
Never happened.
Never happened before it.
It's almost like that scene out of Rudy where like the two teams are just like hold them back and they're staring.
Were you the first person in the locker room after games?
No, I was usually the last.
So you potentially were in the middle of, because from what I've heard with that tunnel, and me and Darius didn't play there because we played in the fucking Big East, didn't we?
Damn right.
What?
Goddamn right.
Oh, yeah.
Rest in peace, Big East.
That conference is gone, right?
Basketball, they still got a thing, I think.
Yeah, they still play basketball. Good basketball.
Not the same.
Not the same, though, yeah.
So here's the tunnel, right? The tunnel is like this, and then this is the tunnel. I don't know if you want to zoom in on that thing.
Oh, so it looks like a regular tunnel.
Yeah, boom. That's a tunnel.
Kinda.
But I think they're coming in from here, right? And then this is the Michigan locker room, and then this is the away team's locker room, right? And then sometimes, do some more adding here. Sometimes there's those are humans trying to get into the locker room because it's kind of like it gets bottlenecked up there because it's a wide tunnel and then it goes down to one door.
A lot of players.
And every once in a while after a game, the team is trying to get into said tunnel, right? And then after there's been a certain amount of time, now here comes Michigan up, right? And they're going into here. But every once in a while, there's a chance that there are still some people right here. So these people that are maybe leading after the game, after maybe a win, are going in here. How is that not always a fight? How is there not always something that he said there? I have the amount of respect I have for the history of Michigan football for not getting into a fight every single home game. I think does need to be.
Hey, way to go.
Hey, good restraint.
Way to go, boys.
Good discipline there. That seems like a setup for a fight every fucking
Definitely. It's a few tunnels like that in the NFL.
Buffalo.
Bills. I feel like it's one more.
Which there has been fights. Remember Fournette? I think Fournette, when he was with Jacksonville, got into a fight. And everybody thought it was that big of a deal. Jair Alexander coming out with Stephon Diggs a couple weeks ago.
Pre-game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, before Sunday Night Football.
Pros have, I think, a little cooler mindset potentially, so not as many fights because you're growing older.
Making money.
But like 18 to 23.
Especially if you just got your ass beat.
Yeah.
Biggest game of the year.
Maybe failed the test the day before.
I don't know. Did you guys ever win in Michigan? No.
No. Beat them at home. Lost there.
Oh! Hey, let's go. Good win, though.
Big win. 45-14 as a senior.
Whoa. Was it, were we doing that whole thing?
Who's the quarterback?
Is that the techno song?
It's Zombie Nation, isn't it?
Zombie Nation.
Oh, yeah. We always read Sandstorm. We are Betty.
Was that happening on that game?
Yeah, it was.
Whiteout up there?
Whiteout.
As many fireworks as they do now, has the whiteout always been the way it is?
No, it's a whole production now. This
It
thing's
is
unbelievable.
awesome. Have you seen this shit, Darius, what they do up there?
Oh,
dude, it is.
It's a production.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It is awesome.
It's unbelievable.
How many in your stadium?
100. I think it says 106, but they get like 109, 110 on the big
Standing
ones.
room only.
It's second to Ann Arbor, right?
So the big house. We did this list.
Yeah, we looked at it.
I forget who was. Auburn, I think, is up there. LSU is up there as well.
Tennessee.
Isn't the Coliseum up
Tennessee's
there?
Yeah, Coliseum might have 90 some or 100 some.
Rose Bowl. I think the Rose Bowl's up
The
there.
seats are still there.
That's what I mean.
They're not talking about humans. They're just talking about the seats being there. I've heard, and I don't know if you've calculated this or not, I don't think I've ever been in front of 100-some thousand. I don't think. WrestleMania? No, how much was WrestleMania?
WrestleMania.
Where's that?
That's a big
no,
stadium.
Jerry
Rose.
doesn't have-
Dallas. I don't remember how many was there. But I've heard like over, 80,000? You can't tell the difference, or is that a lot, you think?
I mean, when we would play at Ohio State, and I think they're the same. They're 105, 106 or something. I mean, it was loud.
Different.
But the thing that's funny is Michigan. It all depends. Like, think about Seattle. Exactly, right? Seattle Stadium goes like straight up, so all the
So that's
sound
Virginia Tech, too.
comes right down on top of you. Michigan Stadium goes out. I never thought it was that loud, but Ohio State is loud.
Well, and Michigan fans, a lot of people would say they're not as rowdy as
This will make Ty
Ohio State.
happy.
It's
One of the
facts.
loudest games I ever played in was at Iowa.
Goddamn
Iowa
right.
gets loud.
Did you wave to the kids?
That was
They didn't
before
have
that
it. Yeah,
happened.
they didn't have
You
it.
probably wouldn't have anyways. You son
If
of
we
a
had to
bitch.
guess.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Hate Joe DiNardo, hate kids.
Unbelievable.
You mean cuss.
What did you say?
Just have a daycare at my house
All right, right now, currently?
currently.
And a sweet jungle gym.
All right, let's get to a break. In the next hour, we will have both In the Trenches. No. Yeah, you're going first?
Sure.
All right, In the Trenches will be in the next hour. Then we have Aaron Rodgers Tuesday. Then we have Everything DB. And we also have AJ Hawk joining us on the other side. AQ, what do you want to do? You want to do some putts?
Let's do some putts.
All right, let's go.
All right, here we go, Al.
Let's go, AQ. AQ has a putting green in his backyard.
Oh, standard.
He grabs a drink, disappears from his family, and tries to make putts in his backyard often in Phoenix, Arizona. AQ shit. Got to make a phone call. AQ probably uses my name a lot in those excuses. And I'll tell you what, those calls are always fantastic, AQ. I'm happy we do them. AQ, if you go 3 of 5, because he has a putting green in his
Yeah,
backyard.
have to raise it.
We will give 10 people $500 who randomly retweet this video, say something nice to somebody in reply, and put their cash tag in there to fully enter. Darius, how do you feel about AQ's chances here on this green that has been tough for a lot of us?
Putting green's backyard, I like him. I like him to hit 3 or 5.
AQ shot a 79 on Thursday, he told
shit.
me.
Allegedly.
New driver.
Would you take the one from here? We played the, what did we play up there?
Yeah, St. Andrews.
We played St. Andrews
Oh,
last
the old
night.
course?
Yeah, we were both like 2 over through 7.
Not bad.
It's pretty damn good.
Are we pros? There's no wind. There's no actual thing. True. Just kind of hitting the ball the distance. Nonetheless, 3 of 5. AQ Shipley hits this. We will
need to start hard.
give $500 to 10 people.
Oh,
and
sweet
beginning of this Thanksgiving and holiday week.
Good pace.
Got to go 3 of 4. That's going to be tough. 75% on the way home. Tiger Woods, remember, 52% from this distance over his entire career.
Jesus, this guy doesn't have a...
AQ Shipley going to have to go 3 for 3 here. He didn't
79 my ass.
mocked and ridiculed my putting before the show started.
That's right.
I just said it's a lot harder. A lot harder than
Tiger's 52% from this.
8 feet, yeah.
It's tough to you, but I mean, granted, they weren't straight every single
All
time.
right.
Okay. 0 for 3. Should he have to do something because of that?
If you go 0 for 5, for sure. You're right. AQ
No
will
way.
give 10 people $500 if he goes 0 for 5.
breaking quite a bit.
Oh, yeah,
Just
you
hit
don't
the
say.
fucking putt. You sound
Read
like
the
Michael
undulation.
You do sound like Michael Cole.
Cole. Mark.
WWE.
WW.
Oh.
Oh, boy.
Oh, no.
Uh-oh.
Darius, this guy has a putting green in the backyard. You went 0 for 5 last week. I think you were like punishing yourself for it. This dude has a putting green in the backyard.
I
Ow.
would.
He's gonna run a gasser.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Way to
Right
save yourself
there.
$5,000.
Putt.
That was huge. All
Ice
right.
in his veins.
Everybody, go ahead and take a poop, maybe a pee. Grab a drink, grab some juice. Because on the other side, we got hour 2 with the incredible, the incomparable AJ Hawk. Take 5.
5.
This Chiefs team,
Man.
and everybody talks about how and AJ picked the Chargers because how good the Chargers play the Chiefs, and that was the point. That was evident yet again last night. And shout out to the Chargers having a fucking great game. Now, 2 minutes left in the game. The way you go about scoring there and thinking about Patrick Mahomes on the other side, down 3, it's a whole situation there. And who knows if you could take things back, you score that quick. And did the Chiefs let them score that quick? And we're happy they scored that quick. Who knows? They're in field goal range. You do your thing. You have to score. Not taking a shot at Staley at all. Just saying interesting situation for them to end up in, for us to have to talk about, because you give Patrick Mahomes that much time to come back. You obviously know at this stage of his career, at this stage of life, Patrick Mahomes is going to make plays. Not only running, obviously, but the dude he's got playing tight end for him in Travis Kelsey is the best football player on any field that he's ever walked onto. Now, he's high-stepping on one touchdown. This one, he's breaking tackles and skirting into the end zone. They go up 4 after the extra point is kicked there late in the game to beat a division rival. Travis Kelsey is fucking unguardable. He's unstoppable, and whenever they need it and got to have it, and we're getting to that point of the season. Look at this high step. The picture that he has, he posted on his IG story, and the caption he put on there is high stepper. He's up to 11 receiving touchdowns this season, tied for the most in his career. He's on pace for a career high in catches, yards, and touchdowns this season. He's 33 years old, and he now has 33 games with 100-plus yards or more, which is more than everybody who broke Gronkowski's record. He's going to go down as statistically greatest tight end of all time.
The guy's unstoppable at this point. You can't. Like, you can do whatever you want. It's not gonna happen.
Up next on PMSN 14, how a local man won thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars from the world's #1 sportsbook this past weekend. With more, here's Nikki Lucine.
Hello and welcome to this special investigative report. What was once considered dirty and dangerous, sports wagering, now regulated and legalized, has many of us dreaming big. We're all searching for the big one, a wager of massive proportions. One of PMI's own, Boston Connor, was able to accomplish just that this weekend.
We sat down with the brazen member of the toxic table himself,
just to find out how it all happened.
Yeah, it's been about 3 years or so of me placing these bets going all the way back to 2020, and you never think that every single guy on your parlay is going to score 2 touchdowns, let alone a same game parlay plus, but somehow, some way it happened, and I'm just relieved that telling people over and over and over again that plus 155,000 odds bets can hit finally did hit.
The wager consisted of 2 same-game parlays, combined to create a same-game parlay plus.
Devontae Adams, everyone said he stunk after last week because he only had 1 catch for 3 yards, so I figured Devontae's pretty good at football. He'll score 2. Travis Etienne, he was just kind of like, Etienne's playing well, he's never scored 2 touchdowns. You might as well just throw him in there just because, it. Austin Eckler, he always scores 2 touchdowns. And then Cordero Patterson, 2 touchdowns. Yeah, he's just coming off the IR, and I figure when they get to the goal line, they'll give it to Cordero, and they did. So that's kind of why I picked those 4. There's no real rhyme or reason, but yeah.
We did the math to calculate just how much of an investment this actually was. 50 total weeks at a median bet amount of $25 was $1,250 in 2+ touchdown parlays with a net of $26,750 after hitting this same game parlay plus.
Really? Holy shit.
What do you plan to spend the remaining winnings on?
Sunglasses and bubblegum, maybe cigarettes, I don't know.
Until next time, good night, good morrow, good luck, and good fortunes.
Don't break the table, obviously. I just break shit. Sorry, man. Somebody came sprinting behind the barrier and tried to spear him. I fucking dare somebody. Oh no! I dare the next fool. Ass kicking. What? Saudi Arabia. What? Riyadh. What? Taking a jet plane. What? All the way there. What? All the way back. What? On the way back. What? WWE champion. What? Are you serious? Hell yeah! Guys destroyed our shit. Did you have the? Is that like that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, full on. Hey, that's scary. Don't you think you're gonna die out there? And there's some moments where you're like, if I die, I die. I guess you have said that, but you think you're never.
Cousins from the pocket, floating one, and right underneath is Justin Jefferson. On the move and all the way down inside the 15.
Kirk Cousins takes a huge hit by Payne.
You say you're never going to breathe again, right? And there's some of that thought out there. Were you having that on the field or no?
You do have that thought for a second that you're in a dark place and you'd like to get out of it. I remember whoever hit me, Payne or whoever hit me pretty good, and I'm kind of, I don't know what I sounded like, but I must have been like, because as he walked by me, as he got up, he goes, you'll be fine. So I must have been moaning or something.
Hey,
Why?
let's go! This show fucking stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for it. AJ, you never cease to amaze me with your toxicity, pal.
You got a couple of these?
God damn it!
What the fuck are you doing?
Boston
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to our humble abode, the FanDuel Thunderdome, on this Aaron Rodgers Tuesday, November 22nd, 2022. Hour 2 starts right now. Football is here, and we can't thank you enough for joining us on this glorious Aaron Rodgers Tuesday. We're about 46 minutes away from Aaron's appearance, looking at a Week 12 game on Sunday Night Football against the Philadelphia Eagles. The Talks Tables here at Boston Connor, at Ty Schmidt. One half of the Hammer, Dahn. Cowboys Tone Diggs is here. The host of In the Trenches and the Bobbled Exchange, AQ Shipley, is here. And the host of Everything DB, the Man to Man podcast and NFL matchup show on ESPN, ESPN2, and ESPN Plus, Darius Butler is here. And live from an attic in Ohio. In Columbus, Ohio, the home of the scene that will be happening on Saturday, in which there is a college football playoff berth on the line. The game, the big game, Michigan traveling to take on the Ohio State Buckeyes. The man that's joining us now is not only synonymous with the Ohio State Buckeyes, not only is he synonymous with college football as a whole, because he's a college football national champion, he's a Super Bowl champion, the Green Bay Packers all-time leading tackler, and a man who beat COVID not once, not twice. 3 times he beat COVID, maybe more, ladies and gentlemen, AJ Hall. What's up, dude?
What's up? I don't know if they're actually competing for it's not a guaranteed spot in the playoffs if they win.
Come on.
Well, the Big Ten
what
champion.
if you lose the Big Ten? What if you lose?
Well, listen, if you lose the Big Ten, then you don't deserve to be in the fucking college football playoff, and also you don't deserve to win the game this weekend. If Michigan or Ohio State were to get a win this weekend and then lose to Iowa in the Big Ten championship game, you're right. Both teams fucking get out of there. Put 4 SEC teams in there if that's what you're going to have to do with how Iowa has played. But nonetheless, massive game this weekend in Ohio, AJ. You starting to get nervous? You starting to get the jitters? That team up north, Michigan, traveling to town, maybe to steal all the joy and the hopes and the dreams of all the kids around Columbus and all the Ohio State faithful. How are you feeling about the game just about 4 days in advance of it?
I feel pretty good. I take my daughter to school in the mornings, and I see the signs leading up to school have red X's over the M. You know it's Michigan week here. It's great.
What do you feel about the team, though? Honestly, I saw C.J. Stroud was leading the band the other day. Had his own.
He's gonna win the Heisman, right? Is he gonna win the Heisman?
So it's him, Caleb Williams, and Blake Corum's up there as well. I think he has the 3rd best odds, but Blake Corum got his knee banged up last week. How much will he be playing going forward? Hopefully a lot, because he's an absolute stud. Obviously, Ohio State fans aren't hoping that. Max Duggan was plus 6,000 yesterday to win the Heisman. TCU remains undefeated, and they get in the college football playoff. He's going to get a lot of conversation depending upon what the outcome is of this particular weekend's game, because Caleb Williams with USC, they can make it in college football playoffs as well, which was a pick I gave out on College Game Day. If they lose to Notre Dame, they're not. And Caleb's probably not winning the Heisman if he's not being represented. So, I mean, it's wide open right now. CJ's certainly on pace to win it, and I think a loss keeps him still in it, because Ohio State still might get in to the college football playoff if they're to lose because of how, the team has been and everything like that. But he can win it. He could definitely win it. He should win it, and I think he has to win this weekend and do so.
Yeah, if he wins and plays well, I would imagine he has a good chance to win the Heisman this week, right? If he looks good against Michigan, the biggest game of the weekend, yeah, he should be okay.
Yeah, not just the biggest game of the weekend. This is Georgia, Tennessee was huge. That was 1 versus 1 in the college football playoff in the AP. Tennessee would go on to lose a game, so that game not as big as it maybe was billed at the beginning, because what happened since then. This is like, hey, berth in the playoff.
Yeah.
Like, that is a big deal. Have to win another game. I guess that's just assumed. Sorry.
No, hey, listen, it's not going to be easy. They know it.
What was Ohio
Both teams
State?
know it.
What was Ohio State? Iowa score?
Well, if you remember correctly, Iowa got up to a 10-0 lead, and then Ohio State scored about 56 on the answer. That was C.J. Stroud's worst game. It
was,
and they won 56-10. So there is, a lot of conversation.
What was the score last year?
It's a trap game, man. That's a Big Ten championship trap game. You don't want to be a part of that.
No, and Ryan Day and Harbaugh and whoever has their team in there will be giving a motivational speech about how, although this game will be relatively easy to the game that we just played and the games that are ahead for us, need to handle business early here, or everything that we ever wanted is not going to be available for us. The college football landscape, though, is bananas. Are you going to the game?
Yes, I will be there.
Okay, sweet. Am I going to see you?
I don't know. What do you do during the game? Don't you leave?
I normally leave. I think I want to watch the kickoff of it, though, because it's right afterwards, right? Are we going in together? You want to go? Do you walk in there?
Believe me, I set it up months ago. I got pregame field passes for me and all my kids. We've never taken everybody there.
Okay, 6. So I think we're going. I'm not.
I'm just there for pregame. I'm not there. I can't stay down there for the game. I'm just down there for pregame.
How many do you have? You have your whole family with you?
Yeah.
Yes, I don't know if I'm able to get 14 in there.
Oh.
Jeez Louise.
Oh, 6 total. Yeah, it's 6.
Procreating every month and a half. I mean,
But
jeez.
you get a nest, they can nestle in there.
Yeah, I guess. All right, so
What
we're
time's kickoff?
going to see it at noon.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
no,
always.
okay.
Can't wait.
Normally. No.
Hey, it's a big fucking game. This is a big game in the Big Ten. Now, obviously, Penn State hasn't been in one of these in a long time, and maybe they will at some point. No offense to Penn State.
Yeah, no.
But why do you hold the Ohio State-Michigan rivalry in big regard because you come from a Big Ten school, or do you try to diminish it as much as possible?
I think it's arguably between that one and Duke, North Carolina, probably the two biggest rivalries in basketball. Right? Probably the two biggest rivalries in college sports. I mean, it's awesome. I look forward to that game every year.
Penn State-Ohio State a rivalry or no? Used to be because Big 33 happened, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is. But it's not to the extent of that game. I mean, that game's special.
AJ,
What?
what's the score of that game? You guys winning this game or what?
Oh, yeah. I plan on winning that. Yeah. Why not?
1,000%.
What's the final score, though? You think it's close? You think it's going to be close? Is this game normally close? You know more than me about this type of thing. Is this game normally because of the atmosphere, the hype built around it, the amount of – hey, I think Game Day is going to do an incredible piece about the history of this rivalry.
Let's go.
Because I don't want to act like I'm a stooge, but I am a stooge. And I was like, I understand that Ohio State-Michigan's a big fucking deal, and it's like, there's a lot on the line. But when did this whole thing kind of start?
Long time ago. Yeah, they'll do a great job. And you shouldn't know, though. Like, I don't understand or claim to know much about other rivalries that are going on, like in the South and different things. I know the rivalry games, but I don't know any details of why it's a rivalry, what makes it that. But yeah, when you get into the history of the Ohio State-Michigan game, there's a ton of stuff that has happened over the years. Woody Hayes, Bo Schembech, where they made it a giant thing, and everyone just ran with it.
Well, I think they should. And then 2006 obviously had the game of the century, three-point game. That was a big-time deal. Were you playing in that game?
No, that was my rookie year. But my freshman year, yeah, we won at home against Michigan 14-9 to go to the national championship, and that was crazy. Everyone stormed the field, all of that.
Always last game of the year?
Yeah, last game at noon usually, but I think they did it later a few times. Or they wanted to do it later.
It was always. I feel like it was always on ABC at noon. Not this year, obviously, but
yeah.
That's wild to me. Just that it's almost like the schedules are set up too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's going to change when USC and UCLA come to town.
Right.
And when Matt Rhule goes to Nebraska, and when Penn State hires AQ Shipley to be the recruiting coordinator, that's going to all change. The future of the Big Ten is going to look very different, isn't it, AQ? Especially with James Franklin and the boys in Happy Valley. This game isn't always going to be for the college football playoff, no, because Penn State's going to be in that conversation real soon, right?
Tell them.
10-2, man. 10-2 every year. It's
Oh,
unbelievable.
come on.
Pretty good. It's not bad.
Unbelievable.
That's a lot of wins.
Yeah.
10 wins.
It's not Ohio State and
But
Michigan.
the two losses are Ohio State and Michigan every year, and it's you might as well just chalk it up.
Why does that happen? You guys just quit, roll over? Fuck, you want to do it
No,
for
I
the
think
rivalry game, for the good of television,
I
for
don't
the
know what
last
it
week
is.
of the season?
They've just been the better teams. I mean, they haven't been able to compete with them.
All right, let's move back to the NFL. Can't wait for this weekend. Can't wait to see Ohio State show up this weekend in Columbus. What's the weather? It's going to be miserable, I assume?
No, I think it's going to, the high is 50. It might rain a little bit possibly, but it's not going to be freezing. I know that.
That is great news, especially coming out of Montana.
Yeah.
Coldest show in history. I would like to know any other show that just does 3 hours straight, basically in single digits, wind chill negative, sitting there just the entire time.
No heaters for
Limited
TV.
heaters. Yeah. I would like to hear about that. Because the fans, they're obviously all much, much tougher than us. But being able to stand, I think, is better in the cold because you can move a little bit.
Hammered.
I almost wish we all just stood behind the desk. Yeah, and a bit intoxicated.
Yeah.
And I appreciate the Montanans. They were awesome out there. But just sitting there, my toesies.
The worst.
My toesies.
If it's
2
hot
hours.
or cold, if it is blazing hot or cold, it sucks just sitting there in bleachers or sitting there on a desk.
Shout out to everybody that got through that over there. Shout out to the Montanimals that made it a great atmosphere. Shout out to everybody on that stage that made the possible feasible, and everybody that battled through that. Desmond Howard led that thing off with, I live in Miami, so this is cold, and it was like watching Des take his fingers out of the gloves, into the fist. Like that's classic cold as shit. Like when you are close to being done with being cold, you go into the fist, in the glove. I'm going to make this glove a mitten real quick to see if this helps because the glove itself isn't working at all. It was quite a scene. Excited to get to Ohio State. Zito just told me on the Doppler, Donardo would have said there is chance of rain showers, I guess, in the middle of the show. That'll be fantastic. Can't wait to get out there and battle the elements. It should be a blast. Speaking of battle battling the elements with rain last night in Mexico. The San Francisco 49ers, the team that you picked, minus 9.5 last night to continue your incredible weekend of picking games. 9-4-1 this week. Week 11, AJ Hawk. Can't wait to see the boost that you put together for next Sunday. We appreciate you doing that for all of us. Make sure it's a fucking winner, pal. Okay, we need one for the good of the team. We need one on
I like big odds, though. I like big odds. It's got to be worth something.
Okay, sweet. Yeah, do that. Let's get a win. Just get a win. Whatever you want to do, just get a win. Last night, what did you see from that Niners team, and what did you see from that Cardinals team that tells you how the rest of their seasons are going to go, AJ Hawk?
Well, it looks like they're going different directions at the moment. I don't know what the future is with Kyler Murray. Is he supposed to be back next week?
I don't know.
Who knows?
I have no
It's
idea.
all right.
We didn't know he was going to
That's
miss this
fine.
game. Remember, we just found out yesterday he was going to miss this game leading into it. But yeah, it does feel as if the Cardinals are a little bit broken. Or are they broken because they're playing the fucking Niners? That's a question that we should ask because the Niners looked unbelievable, AJ.
They did. The Niners looked like we expect the Niners to look. Like the way they looked last night, everyone can envision them making a run, I feel like. Jimmy G is super efficient. I like his quick release, man. I know people they knock Jimmy for whatever. I have no idea why, but that 4 touchdowns, gets the ball to Christian McCaffrey a good amount of times. Like, I like this team. I like their defense. D'Amico Ryans as D coordinator is awesome as well. So this is what the Niners do, though. Don't they kind of round into form usually late in the year when trying to make a run?
That's what the great teams do, and it seems like the Niners have been that. That's why the trade of all the first-round picks for Trey Lance to get rid of Jimmy G was such a big thing. Then the disaster of not being able to trade him with his shoulder surgery, him practicing not with the team but away from the team. And I think my next question is going to lead to whenever we see plays like this. But they were able to get the ball to so many other weapons last night. Ayuk had a touchdown. Debo had a touchdown. Kittle had a couple of touchdowns. Elijah was getting the rock. Christian McCaffrey was getting the ball. It's like they have a plethora of weapons. And somehow Shanahan's going to have to keep them all happy with the ball. I don't know how you do that. George Kittle getting back into the action on the offense side of the ball, catching the ball is huge for them. To go to AJ's point about rounding out and becoming the best team they could possibly be at this time, Kittle also had 2 of the best spikes of not only of the season, but maybe in football. I mean, his first spike last night hit so flat. And if you ever watch somebody who's trying to spike a ball, you're trying to hit that thing flat off the ground. So then it shoots all the way up in the sky. In that thin altitude, or in that high altitude with that thin air, he hit that thing as square as you could possibly hit. It appears as if it went as high as the fucking upright there. Need to talk a little bit more about the spike and the celebration out of Kittle. I thought it was fantastic. Yeah, this is the first one. Boom.
Oh, they love him out there.
Still going.
Yeah.
That ball is still going. And obviously he had the Penta Meda Zero, I think is his luchador. He's an AEW, I believe. Luchador gave him a mask before the game, and obviously he's beloved down there, and I think he loves it down there. 2 touchdowns in Mexico is huge for him. But how does Shanahan continue to feed the weapons? And if he doesn't, do you think that'll be drama down the road with having too many options on the offensive side of the ball and only one football, D-Bud?
Nah, usually it is, but that was something you heard a lot coming out of locker rooms too, and in the media. Like, these guys, they just want to win. They don't care who gets the stats, who's getting the ball. They just want to win. And and the thing about they're all talented, but you don't know where Christian McCaffrey's going to line up. You don't know where Debo's going to line up. Juice, one of the most athletic fullbacks in the league. Like, these guys can move all around. They do so much misdirection pre and post snap. It's tough to defend this team, man.
Is this a team, that in the past couple of years have just devastated Packers fans because they just beat the shit? Is this the year that the Niners finally go in the NFC, Ty, you think, or what?
Yeah, I mean, I said yesterday that I thought that, like when the Cowboys played their perfect game, like they might be the best team in the NFC. It's the Niners. It's the Niners. Like
who is in the NFC right now best odds? I assume the Niners are up there. The Cowboys are up there. The Eagles are up there.
Vikings.
Did the Vikings just fall completely out of it because the egg that was laid against the Dallas Cowboys? Here's odds to win the Super Bowl. Bills are plus 400 now. What does that elbow look like for Josh Allen going forward? They play against the Browns in Detroit. They win. He has great throws. Browns look good. They're still odds-on favorite. Kansas City Chiefs plus 470. I know plus 470 isn't that great odds for a futures bet like Super Bowl, but if you watch them play and see what Patrick and Travis Kelsey are doing, plus 470, not bad odds to look at that Kansas City Chiefs team right now. Eagles at plus 5. I agree. I think we're close to that. I think we'll see what happens with the Bills this weekend. I mean, see what Josh Allen looks like this weekend. I think all eyes are on whether or not how Josh is going to play going forward.
Tough matchup.
Eagles at plus 550, Niners at plus 700. They're right next to each other. Then the Cowboys at plus 1,000. So Eagles, Niners, Cowboys on the NFC side have the top 3 odds to win the Super Bowl. AJ, what are your thoughts on that? You think that's right?
Yeah, I mean, I guess right now, but would you put the Dolphins the same as the Vikings if you're thinking of who has a chance to win the Super Bowl? I guess just because the Dolphins have
Which
a tougher
one would
road
you
to
put
get
above?
there.
Yeah, because I think
the
Connor.
Dolphins. I think better team. I like the Dolphins team, but a tougher road to get there, I guess.
Yeah, I think like Connor immediately would have assumed that the Dolphins would be above the Vikings, not only because of what they showed against the Dallas Cowboys, but because the Dolphins have a lot of weapons, which we're going to start looking at the top of these charts. Seems like weapons is a good thing to have in the NFL, especially this year, and the Dolphins have a shit ton of them. I like that Niners team, though.
Yeah.
Especially after, and it might be recency bias, and I guess we could say that about the Cowboys as well, if we really wanted to go off recency bias for what they did to the Vikings. That Niners team just seems like they have the shit to them, too. And I like that feel that they have.
Yeah, the Niners and the Cowboys kind of are so similar because their defenses are so good. Like they both get 4-man pressure. They both have, a stud on the D-line with Parsons and then with Bosa in San Fran. The crazy thing really is that McAfee has only played a few games. Like they finally used him last night where he wasn't. And he's awesome too.
Yeah.
But then they lined McCaffrey up in the slot, and then they got Debo, Ayuk, and Kittle, and then they have Elijah Mitchell in the backfield. It's like they could legitimately have 5 different people score 2+ touchdowns every single game. It's insane.
I think they also they travel. Like we saw it last year. Like they're in California. It did not fucking matter at all that they were going to play Green Bay. Like their defense is so good. They can just pound the ball down your throat. And then, if they're only throwing 10 passes or 12 passes, like there's a chance that Jimmy G's going to throw fucking 4 touchdowns in those 12 passes with how explosive they are.
AQ, anything to add to the Niners tug session we're running right now?
Come on,
You want me to chime in on this?
Yeah, do you want to
let me chime in on
tug session that is happening for the Niners, but it's real.
Yeah, they're so good.
And they're going all in, which I like. Dr. York, AJ, I don't know if you saw that. Dr. York, he got the game ball from Shanahan, and then you start thinking, smart by Shanahan. Very smart. He just got above 500, I guess, as a total because the years that Jimmy G was hurt, they lost a lot of games, and we don't talk about it. That is something nobody talks about, and we shouldn't because whenever they have their team together, they're very good. Whenever Jimmy G's not in, they were very bad. That's why they drafted Trey Lance, but now Jimmy G's seemingly back and healthy. They are dominant again. His record as a head coach is over 500 for the first time in his career, actually.
Wow.
So that is something that we never really recognize or understand. McDaniel leaves. We thought maybe Shanahan was dead because the big Yale brain goes down to Miami and he's able to do what he's able to do. Shanahan has it figured out. They had to trade for Christian McCaffrey. They had to pay a bunch of people. I like what this Niners team has done both off the field and on the field. Do you have any solid takes about why the Niners will go or why they won't, you think?
No, I love it. And there was one particular formation that they did last night where I was like, oh, okay, I see where this is going, right? So they had McCaffrey lined up in the backfield. They motioned Debo into the backfield. And then from there, they get set. Then they motion McCaffrey into the slot, and they hit him with like a little angle route. But the possibilities are completely endless with that amount of weapons. It doesn't matter who it is. They're all interchangeable. They can all play multiple position slot. And so the thing that I talk about over and over again is with their formations being able to all look the same and never know what the fuck coming out of it.
Oh, TCU.
That, exactly.
Texas
that
TCU.
is what you're getting from this team.
AQ gave me that. I asked him, I'm like, hey, we're going to cover these Texas and TCU pretty heavily. Can you give a little look-see at what you think these teams look good at? And I get this note from him on Friday as I'm studying. He's like, fucking full 3-scroller. And I'm like, AQ, I can't read that.
Come on.
AQ, I can't read this. So I call him, and he starts breaking it down. He's like, look at that. They look the exact same. They're doing something different. You can even say this, very Shanahan-like. You can even say this on the show. I didn't get to say it, but it was like just kind of part of my study part of the whole conversation because everybody's going to have a take on that table, and we don't know what everybody else is saying. So I'm just trying to get as much information as possible. Why doesn't everybody do that? Why is that not just common?
It takes a lot of work.
It
takes a lot of work with all that pre-snap shifts, motions, everything. Haven't you heard Aaron talk about it before on the show? Like he tells LaFleur, hey, can we have 1 or 2 plays without any pre-snap motion? Like it takes a lot, man. You got to practice that over and over and over again. That takes away from other stuff.
Well, and I guess everybody's got to be on the same page at all times. That's why we were so impressed with Seattle Seahawks operation.
Yeah.
Because they got a lot of motion, and Geno is somehow he would have this much room in between 2 motions, and he's getting through there without tripping anybody up. Because if you trip somebody up, that could be a disaster. And nobody thinks about that. That's a little tiny thing. That's if you see somebody trip over something, it's like, oh, what an amateur move. It's like, how does that not happen more often? I'm wondering. With 2 people sprinting behind somebody at exact speed, and you're trying to get an exact timing. I don't know if you're saying that takes work. Like all of that is muscle memory and reps and everything, and you only have a certain amount of plays in a day?
Yeah, and some coaches and some schemes don't really rely heavily on that. Some people have. It's all like, hey, what are your beliefs? What's like your foundational tools of your playbook?
Well, and if those plays don't work, right? Like you can practice a play a bunch, but then if it goes for a 2-yard or a 1-yard gain, you can't come out in the same formation, expect them to react really hard to that play, and then dump it behind them.
What does Vrabel do? Vrabel says this is what we're doing. Fucking stop it or not. Does that happen, or do a lot of teams do? How many teams are doing like actual disguising on the offensive side? Do you think how many teams can you not predict what play is coming from a high IQ defensive player like you are? Is there a lot of teams you can predict, or is most of it just kind of whittling down?
You can predict a lot of it, but a lot of the teams are running the same plays, but you're just window dressing it pre-snap differently. So that's all they're doing, shifting and when they do those shifts in motion, that's fucking up the defense side of the ball. Because remember, we were talking about a couple weeks ago with the post-huddle communication, the down right, down left. So if I'm a down safety and they're doing this, it happened last night a couple of times actually, and we got to rotate back and they go back like that formation shift that AQ was talking about. Like, that's tough as hell on the defensive side of the ball. So I can tell you a number of the teams that are shifting in motion a bunch, but the teams that do it well, and you got to have the players too. Like Miami, they have the players. San Fran, they have the players. You can shift the motion all you want. If you don't have dogs back there to do it, it doesn't matter.
Let's go in the trenches real quick because we're talking about window dressing, and I think this is a perfect one, AQ. And I don't think you need to I think this is a perfect way to do it in the trenches, by the way, if you're just going to sit here. You have your stick. Look, this play, he showed it to me earlier, and I don't think I saw it live during the game. How the hell, if you're a defense, are you supposed to stop this? And AJ, chime in whenever you can. This is what's going to happen. There's going to be somebody that comes in this way, this guy's going to go this way, and then this guy's going to pull this way, and then the ball's going to go this way. Okay? And this fucking guy, and AQ, tell me if I'm wrong. This guy is going to he's going to come in there, and the guy who's going to pull is just going to block him naturally. He's going to do his own thing.
That's exactly right.
This is the window dressing. Why doesn't everybody do this type of shit? Is it hard to get this done?
It's hard, and just to piggyback off what they were saying, again, it takes a ton of reps, but if you're on the road, it takes even more because now you have no communication. You can't hear shit. But yeah, you saw the jet motion. You get Gabe Davis going back against the grain with a tackle pulling after the ball is snapped. That's the craziest shit. You get crisscross, basically where the ball is snapped. You get a crisscross between the tackle and a receiver going back. What the fuck? Linebackers have to be in a blender here.
AJ, what do you do here, pal?
I mean, look at 44 right here. He is the tackle coming directly at him. He's most likely, does he have to get outside that gap? And 28 is supposed to take that B gap right here, and he's supposed to jump outside this lineman and also, head and hands at the same time. Like, yeah, you're screwed, man. It sucks. They create chaos like pre-snap for these defenses to where you got to play kind of like indecisive and you're not sure where to fit.
You talking about this guy, D-Bud?
Yeah, the 38. So when that fly motion comes, if you're a flat defender, you're also typically the edge on the run defense. So once he flashes, like that's going to widen me. Like I got to go with him. So regardless of where 44 goes, 28 is going to have somewhere to make this play. Josh Allen can pull this too with the athletic quarterback. Like it's just tough, man.
Because he can either pull it and go that way or fucking if he wants to.
Yep.
I mean, how are you supposed to stop this?
And look at this. This with the receiver going back. So if you go back a little bit here, the center has to get skinny and get play side. Play side's over here on 28. If you don't get that back to hold him back to this gap.
He's doing a D-line.
He's going to go there, and he can't get this block. He probably makes the play with all.
Center's doing a D-line.
Swim around to get skinny. Boom, and now he gets leverage.
And so because that worked now off of this, Josh Allen can pull it and just throw it to that guy in the flat?
He can, yeah.
No, because the center downfield, right?
If it's quick,
right.
He get right there. If the ball got rid of it, he'd be fine. They won't call it.
But they might call it the tackle.
Why doesn't everybody do hey, Jeff. Jeff Saturday. Somebody text Jeff Saturday. Let's do this one. Is this the type of play, though?
It's unbelievable.
That more people will do in a copycat league?
This is so much eye candy. You don't see this much. I've seen San Fran do it a couple times where they crisscross post-snap. Typically, you get this pre-snap and then someone going back. But then when you have the tackle going back across the grain of the guy going back to the side of where the jet motion's going, it just puts your eyes in a blender, in an absolute blender.
Jesus Christ!
Your gaps change, like with pullers and that like jet motion behind the center, depending, like your rules get all messed up because a lot of times you have to fall back a gap if you have a puller, you have someone behind the center that's like a jet motion. So yeah, like we said, like we're trying to figure it out right here. These guys are in real time trying to figure out how to stop it with 15 seconds in between each play, and you're probably dinged up and you're tired too.
This is why I wouldn't be a former player that'd be a good head coach, because I would see that and then I say, we're doing that. We're doing
That's
that.
what happens.
But that's what they do. It's
every
copycat
time.
league.
Coaching.
That's what teams do. That'll show up by somebody else this week. You watch.
All right, well, let's get to a break, and then let's see what else will show up in the trenches. Before we have Aaron Rodgers Tuesday on this glorious Tuesday, November 22nd. AJ, you want to give us a prediction on score for Michigan Ohio State this weekend on Tuesday?
Here we go.
What do you say?
Yeah, why not? Let's go 31-14 Ohio State.
Oh,
Beat down. Holy shit.
holy shit. All right, be a friend, tell a friend. In the trenches on the other side, then Aaron Rodgers Tuesday, then everything DB, then we're wrapping up everything in the NFL world. We're lucky to be here. We can't thank you enough. Take 5.
Bye.
Where else would you rather be right now? We just left snow. Come down here to this warm weather, baby. Time for some football, baby!
Let's go. Let's get it today. Come on. Let's get it today. Let's get it.
Hey! Hey, let's go, huh?
Hey, man, I'm ready to go, man. Let's put on a show, man. Nothing else matters but today.
Play for each other, that's it, man.
Everything you got for the guys. Tonight, it don't take nothing but you being yourself. We flying around, we drinking right now, dominate. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. We're gonna get you in the end zone today so you cut the hair, all right?
A handoff Skoronic. He's got speed. He's got the edge. He goes in untouched. Ben Skoronic. Touchdown. His first as a pro.
We gotta get him in so he can cut his hair. Said he gonna cut it if he scores a touchdown.
Handoff goes to Nick Chubb going right side. Nick gets a block across midfield to the 45, down the sideline, pushed out of bounds.
Burrow catches, looks, fires, chase, touchdown!
We're gonna get the ball back. We're gonna get the ball back. Great execution. Great communication. Great teamwork.
Rock.
In and out. I'll be on.
End zone, touchdown, Gesicki. How about Mike Gesicki? A little bit of a breakout game for him today.
Hey, keep running. It's coming.
And Kyle Pitts caught it on U.S. soil. Number 8 as a touchdown.
Hey, let's get him off the field right here. Let's get him off the field right here.
Throws it right, and it's intercepted. Patrick Peterson. And they bring it. Here comes Derwin. Russell Wilson sacked. Derwin got him.
Bro, I checked his ass out the club. Bro, you see I lifted his ass up? He say, when I hear him, he say, damn.
Runs to his right, gonna keep it and run with it. Gets a blocker in front of him. Dives over a man at the 20-yard line. He is unbelievable. Make room in the highlight film for that one.
I told you, prime time play makes prime time plays a big time game.
Into the end zone. Touchdown, Devontae Smith. Jamar Chase is taking over this football game and once again goes off in this building. Unbelievable.
Hold me. Let's go. He can't hold you. Out, man. Out, damn it.
That's us. He beating us, man.
Let's go. Go.
Hi, baby. Yes, sir. Love you, bro. Keep working. We know what the we can do, and we know what we can be, and we know it's in our hands, and that's how it's gonna always be.
You say you want to be a tough and rugged team, you got to win tough and rugged, and that's what tonight was.
You earn everything in this league, and today you earned this.
What do you say, Von? Don't blink, don't flinch, whatever it is, man. You guys are as tough as nails, man. Tough as nails.
Who they? Who they? Who they say gonna beat the Bengals? Who they? Who they? Who they say gonna beat the Bengals? Nobody!
Whenever I was watching it live, I saw him knock home his first 60-yard field goal, and I said, wow, look at this dude. Has it outside, the right upright, plays a draw. That fucker's good. He would be 4 for 4 on 60-yard field goals in the NFL. Mr. Brett Maher, how you doing? Keep it moving. The Cowboys not only obliterating the Vikings, but their kicker obliterates a football. Then the NFL said, whoa, 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 whoa. Can't have something come that easily for a kicker. No, no, no. Let's execute and display a beautiful picture of positionism, and let's act like what he just did was not good enough, because we had stopped the play, didn't we? Immediately after the ball was kicked, to review a catch that was maybe a catch, maybe not a catch, to get them into field goal range the play before. If you do recall, a week ago, Gabe Davis of the Buffalo Bills made a catch that wasn't a catch, that wasn't stopped for review in the final 2 minutes, leading Walt Anderson to come out and say, we should have stopped that, we should have reviewed that. Same type of situation, much different ball game. CeeDee Lamb on the sideline, toe drag, swag, beautiful catch. Does he have possession of it? I think that particular angle says yes, he does have. There's other ones where the ball moves around, and they kind of skipped over the replay a couple different times whenever they were showing it to get to the 60-yard field goal. Then after Maher proves that he's a dog and can bury home a 60-yarder on the road, they say, sorry, we're going to review that. Same outcome, it is a catch. We need you to do it again. Maher said, no fucking problem. Hold my beer. Hits a 60-yarder better this time. Never a doubt. Hit it cleaner and further. Big Mike gives a fist pump. Brett Maher unlatches his other latch. And this dude is unbelievable at the long ball. He's not going to go down as the greatest kicker in history because that man is kicking right now for Baltimore. But what Maher has been able to accomplish from long range is nothing short of a feat of spectacular athleticism. He's mentally tough enough to be able to handle the distance. He doesn't try to overswing. He doesn't hit it too low. He hit the ball perfect the second time when he was asked to do it again, when everybody on earth assumed he wouldn't. Congrats to Maher, AJ. Yeah.
Welcome back to the Pat McAfee Show on Aaron Rodgers Tuesday. Today's show is sponsored by SeatGeek. This is your weekly reminder that they gave us an exclusive link that gives us all 15% off football tickets.
Really? Wow.
15% off.
Wow.
Massive.
Crap.
That is.
And it's whether you're a first-time buyer or not. College, NFL, the big game, Michigan, Ohio State, it does not matter. SeatGeek has you covered. Just click the link in the description and the 15% off code will be auto-applied to your account. No code needed.
Shout out to SeatGeek. We appreciate it.
Thank you, SeatGeek.
Also, shout out to AJ Hawk sitting to my left, your right. That was Boston Connor with an incredible read. Darius Butler is here. Ty Schmidt is here. Tone Diggs is here. And now it is time for us all to arrive at a beautiful place known as In the Trenches with AQ Shipley. Hello, baby AQ. Where are we going?
Let's go. We are going to Mexico City.
Okay.
Stadio Azteca.
Yep, we're going to start there.
You all right?
Yeah, I'm all good now. Hey, check it out. We got a gadget.
Oh, creative gadget.
So, we saw this earlier in the year. We saw the New York Jets. We saw Dwayne Brown. Well, guess what? We're going to replace him this week with the best of all time, Trent Williams.
Ooh. Best left tackle of all time?
He's got to be in the conversation.
Oh.
We also
Is
get
he tipping
Brendel.
here?
We also get
tipping?
Yeah, that's a great point.
4-4 tipping.
That's a pass stance, I think.
Really?
I think it's a pass. Nope. Don't know. Don't fucking care. This guy is going to get out in space along with Jake Brendel. I think we saw this. He gets downfield. We're going to fake the counter. We're going to pull the guard. We're going to get these guys down blocking. He's going to do the little whirly bird. But the play that sets us up, this is usually run out of a bunch. He's going to get a little wider than a bunch. And wait till you see the patience, because he knows he has to block Isaiah Simmons going back across his face. But the key to this, I showed D-Butt this earlier, is the effort on Simmons. He is what makes this thing go. Trent Williams out in space, and Jake Brendel gets a monster block on Budda Baker down in space. Check the whirly bird by the tight end. Fake it. Fuck it. Let's go.
Boom.
Here we go. There's the whirly bird. Trent Williams out in space. Let's kick him out. Check the effort by Ayuk. This is a linebacker, a 245-pound linebacker. Stick and stay. Stick and stay. Boom, get him past. Check out Brendel. Boom!
Down the field.
That's tough sledding right there.
Wow.
How good is that?
Cardinals did attempt to tackle on this play, kind of.
Yeah, it looks like they attempted on this play, not
Hey,
later against Kittle, but
that
on
was
this play.
35 yards down the field. Where
unbelievable.
where the center was tackling or blocking Buda Baker. 35 yards, big dude. 3 what?
305.
Freak.
35 yards down the field.
The key is, and this is blocked to perfection because he's got the flat kick out, he's got the alley, and just run the alley, look anything inside out, and then you get Debo out in space, which
Yeah, go from the top, Pat. Look at this backer on the right. I think he's the backer on the right side. 51. Watch him take off. He has to feel that Tyler Croft, that tight end, run the little whirly bird, but he didn't see him come back.
Oh.
See ya.
Out of there.
You don't have to block guys like that when that happens.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
Jeez.
Now, if he did read it, 64 probably, Jake Brendel would have picked him up, and then Buda has a chance to make this play downfield. So you end up
So if he goes down and then comes back, Cuzzy probably
takes him, and then Buda's free. So because of that, now you gain an extra hat front side. This is how you get the big explosives.
That's so hard. That's so hard to stop, man.
Yeah.
I mean,
McGlinchey's also. I mean, look at McGlinchey.
Ayuk out of there.
Yeah, McGlinchey's the right tackle. Look at him getting all the way back across the field and getting even if it's just a piece like that, it helps down the field on the
Jeez Louise.
Dogs.
Hey, Debo hitting
That
another
energizes
gear.
the whole team,
Yeah,
though.
big time.
That gets the whole team absolutely juiced, especially when you have guys downfield blocking guys to the ground at the 5-yard line. Like that, the whole team loves this.
AQ, I don't want to say that an offensive lineman wouldn't give max effort all the time because an offensive lineman will always have to give a max effort or they'll get embarrassed. I do believe, though, that whenever you're a team that says, hey, we're going to run the ball, you get max effort from all these fucking guys.
Almost extra effort, right?
Yes.
It almost becomes extra effort. The way that these guys embrace it, they want to run the ball. They know that if it goes, they're going to continue to run the ball. So, hey, how we continue to run the ball, we got to keep getting +5s, and that's what they get.
What were you going to say, Darius?
No, just if you run it back a little bit, it was like 4 Cardinals in the same gap, but this is tough.
Yeah, because they're thinking this is counter all the way.
So
As soon as that guard pulls, as soon as he starts, it's counter.
I mean,
this team runs counter.
More? Like probably half a
51
second
jumps
forward.
in there, too.
Oh, boy.
That's not
That's tough.
That's tough. That's tough.
But Simmons, the only chance they got on this play is Simmons just whooping Ayuk's ass in space, either trying to throw him into that play. But this is, I mean,
That's a brilliant play design there, right? That's the type of thing that, just like the Bills play we saw before the break, that's going to be tough to stop.
Yeah.
Tough to stop.
That's a tough play to stop, right, AJ?
Yeah, before you're probably they're probably 15 yards down the field before some guys know where the ball is. Like there's so much action going on back there.
This is Philadelphia Eagles.
fucking blue. This is unbelievable.
Yep. All right, so
It's the
perfect.
guy that ate Fox.
There's a couple things that I think made this play. So this is the game winner, right? This is the game winner, Jalen Hurts up the middle, that you could have driven a Mack truck through, right?
A big gaping hole.
There it is. So check it out. Here's the first key. First key, we detach the tight end. We widen him. This tight end aligns here. He's a little tighter. He's probably somewhere in the box here. Now with him detached and him running a route, he has to split the difference, widen out, and when he runs the route, he has to work that way. That's the first key. The other key, most people run this. They would call this a draw scoop. Again, we talk about scoop in the run game. Same thing. Center and guard would be working to him. You always have to point the linebacker opposite of the tight end because the tight end has him. That's his responsibility. Other side, the offensive line would work to him. That's the point. But most people, when they do it, they would work a draw scoop, and it shows run immediately. The thing that I love about what they do, they get Kelsey back off the ball, so it shows pass right now by him setting back. Let's also not forget, this is 3rd and goal from the 8.
Yeah,
And they need a touchdown to win.
Gotta have it.
So they're playing
Can't
pass.
have it,
They
Kirkle.
think this is pass, right? They set him back. It shows pass by seeing the center go there, and then they're going to loop him around to him. It's unbelievable. 35 to running back. Scott ends up just being the cleanup guy up the middle. But by Kelsey setting back there, now mind you, also we get the jump set here. As soon as he comes down on the jump set 2i, what's he going to do? He's going to work back across his face, which widens the hole again. Look at that thing.
Oh,
jeez.
Hash to hash.
Big.
Gaping hole.
I mean, can you get any bigger? That might be the biggest one we've seen all year, right?
Yeah, it's a real shame it's against the Colts, man.
Crawled in.
God damn, that's a bummer.
Tough play.
I mean, that has to be the
Of all time, is that the biggest hole ever?
Gaping of holes of all time.
Is that? I mean, you tell me, dude.
That might be the biggest hole I've ever seen.
So what is it? It's 53 and a third wide, the field.
Yeah.
So it's 26.65, 26.15.
How wide are the hashes?
I don't know. It's a good question.
Oh, that's a great question.
Hash to half. I mean, that's got to be at least 10 yards.
I mean, 15 maybe.
Yeah,
I mean, that is a huge. I mean, that is
huge.
That's
Like
the
you said,
biggest
it-
hole of all time.
that's game winner.
Yeah.
Game winner.
Game on the line.
Hash
So
marks are 18 and a half feet apart.
It's feet to 6.
6 yards and change.
That's from there to there. Then you got to add.
Why would they ever do it in
probably
feet?
another.
Who cares about the feet?
Well, who knows?
Yeah, we don't.
Why is it
football field,
53 and a? Well, it's 53 and a third, which would be an extra foot.
Yards, though. That's yards. Like, who's doing? Why are we
I
doing
know,
it in feet ever?
but we probably say it's 53 and a third. I would assume they originally measured it in feet, though, because why would they have it be 53 yards and 1 foot? It's
Right.
probably a certain amount of, what is that,
59.
160 feet.
160 feet.
So it's 160 feet across. That's probably how they.
Okay.
That's probably how they did it. If we had
All
to
right.
guess.
Okay.
So
We're not happy about it, though.
No, me, I'm not.
Doesn't
Yeah,
make
we're
sense.
not at all. 53 and a third. Why do we got to adjust? We fucking play the game.
Yeah,
What are we
bullshit.
doing?
Yeah.
30 feet? Is that what it originally was, or was it fucking 10 yards for a first down? What's the deal?
What are you
Going
going
on here?
Why is this going? Anyways, that's a big fucking hole.
Yeah,
Is
massive.
this the Colts defense just reading their keys and the Eagles basically playing off like, hey,
Scheming?
they're gonna go where we tell them to, and then it'll just be wide open in the
You
middle.
watch
What are
4-4.
these guys doing too? Pass set,
Pass
right?
it,
Yeah.
yeah.
What were you saying,
I'm
D-Buck?
saying if you watch 4-4, like as soon as he sees that, and once again, what's his third and goal?
Yeah.
He's got to be inside 89. So as soon
They
as he
had
sees
this-
that O-line pass set, he's looking at his pass responsibility. I mean, but you gotta. I mean, it's Jalen Hurts too, though.
Yeah, look at how big that fucking.
Yeah.
I mean, is that a cell or is that just a standard?
Yeah, what a
Yeah,
game.
that's a good point.
Oh,
Yeah.
Is that like definitely?
And I'm pretty sure they do have a pass out of this. I guarantee it.
Yeah,
There's a pass because if he goes there,
Orlovsky said, yeah, Orlovsky's
Right.
yeah.
to this play where that it's a throw right, throw left, and then if it was a PRO, remember, pass run option, a pro, which every play with a mobile quarterback potentially is. But
surprised the line's not cutting.
AQ stealing from Orlovsky?
Oh man.
People are saying.
no,
Surprised the line just doesn't cut here.
AQ Orlovsky.
AQ.
Yeah.
Hey, AQ, a question for you as a coach. If they for some reason lined up their backers in like a AA mug pressure that a lot of people don't like to face, do you think they check out of it? Obviously, probably
So
stand it up and
if
throw
I'm
right away to
coach,
that tight end.
if I'm coaching that exactly, I'm the quarterback. They line up AA, so he would be here, backer there. Okay, easy. Come in, bring the tight end in, put the tight end then on him, down, and you still can get the play off. I think draw is still a phenomenal play versus the AA gap blitz.
Yeah.
I mean, jeez Louise.
They
What
had
is
him.
that?
They had him.
They got him.
What is?
I mean,
They
there's
got him.
nobody there that you would think maybe could hopefully time it up and get there on time. There's nobody.
Man, you got
Awesome.
Even on the pass, you got to have rush lane integrity on the quarterback like this.
That's good
So,
scheme that we're saying, right?
Awesome.
Good play. Great
Awesome.
play.
Here's another one.
Hey, this one, again, nothing really fancy to this. This is the duo play, right? So basically, we're 2 for 2 here. It's a gap play. We're 2 for 2 here to 54. What do we call that? Tackle and guard. That's a deuce. What do we call here? We got a scoop to Jordan Hicks on the backside. Left tackle, block man. But check it out. This is what I love about this. This is what makes this play go. It's real easy to block everything on paper, right? When nobody's moving, hey, it's real easy. But when you get him slanting and then working behind, him working here, Jordan Hicks working out here, how are these three guys going to pass this off and still get the big gaping hole off the backside, which I love the backside A cut in this duo play. Doesn't get talked about nearly enough. But look at that pass off. They all switched responsibilities on the run, and then Pollard hits this thing 100 miles an hour. You got to love the juice he brings every week, right?
Yeah.
He's downhill and hits it.
Because pre-snap, 1, right?
Yep.
2,
Yep.
3.
Yep.
So then it runs. He becomes.
He goes here. This guard picks him up. He'll go around to the center, tackle ends up picking the linebacker. They all exchange responsibilities. Every single one of them end up on different people than who they were supposed to pre-snap.
How big will it be to get Tyron Smith back for them at left tackle?
It doesn't seem like it's.
I mean, yeah, this guy's playing at a high level.
Okay. This is the type of shit that they would be missing out on, right? With that type of veteran, because of the ability to pass off and have the confidence to do so.
They're able to do it. Again, that goes down to coaching. That goes down to getting the looks in practice all week. Hey, how are we going to handle it? Again, we know how it's supposed to block when everybody's standing still. What are we going to do whenever they run a twist and scrape the will back over the top?
They said that I think it was Jerry Jones mentioned, like, oh, he should be fine just sliding down to left guard. Do you think it will be like that, or do you think?
Could.
I mean, is it? That's obviously much easier said than done. But like, is there any thought that maybe they're just going to leave him out there, or no, because Tyron Smith's so good?
I think now you just know you have a quality backup swing. I mean, and this is a guy that can win you games when you put him in as a starter.
Hey, that's good football right there. Good sound football. Pass the things off, making things happen. Let's go to the next one.
Love this. Also, he brings a lot of juice. Pacheco's been doing a great job. This is a team that, mind you, a couple weeks ago, 3 runs maybe in the game. They had fucking like 11 yards rushing. So when they need to run it, they proved they can win it. First thing to notice, we're going to get the deuce block. This deuce block between Brown and Thuney, unbelievable. We get the back block. We're not even going to block him because you also still have a little bit of a threat of Mahomes running it. Not as much, but he has to respect it. Over here, this is what's awesome. They're going to run this play. We call it tag. We call it counter trip, whatever you want to call it, where the guard and the tackle pull strong. But you typically don't run it to a tight end and a wing. Why is that? Because you run out of people. But what they do, which is awesome, Kelsey arcs. He ends up taking the last guy. He's going to arc to this guy. We're going to leave him and him, Khalil Mack, and here for the pullers, and we get the tight end down through to 49. Let's watch this thing. This thing is awesome. Really good scheme. Boom. There's the kick out.
See you later.
You get enough on Khalil Mack. You get the second puller. And look at that. You get a big hole.
Boom. Good player.
That's a good player.
That cut.
But this is what's awesome. You end up handling that support who would normally be the corner. He'd be left free. He'd be the free guy. But you end up handling him with the arc release with Kelsey. Does a good job just getting on. Kelsey can't block, they say, right? Does a great job here.
That is interesting. That is a conversation right now about Kelsey not being able to block as good as Gronk. So although Kelsey will catch Gronk and pass Gronk in all the stats and he'll go down as statistically the greatest of all time statistically, you're saying he's not scared to put his body in the way as well.
No, and then you can always scheme things, right? You got him on a corner. Who cares? That's a great block. Keeps him wide, and then you get Pacheco up the middle. This is awesome.
Brown
awesome
stuff. Back down. Jeez.
How about that deuce, huh?
Yeah.
Unbelievable deuce.
Him and Tunley.
I mean, they take him and just bury. Look at this thing.
Who's that, Connor?
Deuce is the guard and tackle, right?
Yep. Guard tackle.
They handle this dude and then normally go up, or this one goes up.
So check this out. Because of this extra tight end front side, we can put the tight end there. They deuce forever. Really, if you're really playing the way this is supposed to be done, their deuce is technically supposed to go all the way to him.
Jeez.
So they can stay on this fucking deuce block forever. Forever.
God damn.
Oh, you're picking up the backside safety.
Yeah, and that's literally what their O-line coach is saying. Hey, fuck him. Don't even worry about it. Just take him for a ride.
Checo makes a miss anyway.
Hey, that was that high step I'm talking about where he's so explosive. He's going through tackles, high stepping, and then on the other side, they're able to put the foot back in the ground. He's a guy. All right, here we go. Back to this Chiefs game. There's one big bump this week.
This might be the biggest one all year.
Oh,
and I've been saying that every week because we've been seeing some good ones recently, right?
Damn right.
We saw Cleveland from the Vikings a couple weeks ago. Check out Trey Smith. This guy went in the 6th round because he had some medical history coming out of college, out of Tennessee. He was the best guard, I thought, in the draft. Guy plays like a dog. Check it out. Just wait.
Now he's putting medical history in other people's
hands.
That's what he's doing.
That's right. So boom. We're gonna check this first. We're gonna check this. Okay, cool. Here we go.
Big bump check.
Big bump check. Big bump. Big bump.
Here we go. Okay, we're gonna work inside. Let's be a good guard. Let's help my center for a second. Now, let's get our eyes back outside.
Holy shit, AJ. Did you see this, AJ?
First class ticket to Big Bump
Is that
City.
illegal?
That's 100% legal.
Nah, it seems illegal.
Hey, and what do they
sportsmanlike?
What do they say in basketball? What do they say in basketball? right?
Boom.
They tell the point
Talk
guards
shit,
not
get
to,
hit.
not to come in the paint, right? And then what they tell the point guards don't come in the paint?
Never
Hey,
come
corners. Sorry, D-Butt. Hey, corners. Stay out of the trenches.
Stay out the trenches.
Boom! Oh!
Yeah.
There's big bodies in there. There's people with bad intentions in there.
Boom. And that's right where Mahomes stepped up. I think that's also lost in this conversation.
That guy played
That's
another
right
snap.
where he stepped up. He cleans it up, and boom, we're able to get the throw.
Holy shit.
Great in the trenches. Thank you. Sorry about a pal who just got bodied. That's going to happen in football. Let's take a 2-minute break. And on the other side, Aaron Rodgers Tuesday will take place. Great in the trenches, AQ. All right, see you in 2. Take 2.
Take 2.
Jorts are making me cry.
I'll tell you what, I walked into the production meeting at game day. I had 45 different looks. They're trying to find me pants. Nothing's open yet, so let the Cavs breathe here in Memphis, Tennessee.
Buffalo, New York with Friday Night SmackDown, and now I get a chance to be amongst the incredible drunks of Memphis, Tennessee. It's been a wild 12 hours.
Right here in the middle of Beale Street, as soon as this legend showed up, the place started chanting Penny.
You know, our fans are incredible. We have the best fans in the world. So when you have a kid come here and see this, it sells itself. So, T-I-G-E-R-S, Tiger.
Let's just say what it is. Tennessee has stunk for a long time. They stink. This Navy team, obviously, honorable American badasses. What they got going on is incredible. But to beat the dog grumpy out of UConn has to feel good.
You had one job. I don't think it is taking your guys' legs out, especially on the 6-yard line. And bam!
Oh!
Man down. I think he popped a hammy, possibly tore his ACL. One of the most brutal, gruesome injuries I've ever seen on a football field. I think what you do is you send it back to the main stage with a beautiful shot of Beale Street. On Beale Street.
I enjoy the fuck out of it. I have no idea what I'm talking about most of the time. The train keeps rolling. What a fucking wild, 47 hours or something.
Welcome back to the program. It is Aaron Rodgers Tuesday, November 22nd already. Happy Thanksgiving week, everybody. 2022, week 12 is already stumbling into our life of the NFL season. It seems as if time is flying. To my left, your right, is a college football national champion, Super Bowl champion, a man who said that the Ohio State Buckeyes are going to beat Michigan 31-14 this weekend. Ladies and gentlemen, AJ Haw.
AJ!
The Talks at Tables here at Boston Connor, at Ty Schmidt. You two look fantastic. I appreciate you guys. One half of the Hammer, Dahn. Cowboys, Tone Diggs is here. The host of In the Trenches, who just wrapped up another fantastic episode before the break, AQ Shipley is here. Super Bowl champion as well. And Darius Butler, 9-year NFL vet, host of the Man to Man podcast, Everything DB, which will come here in about an hour. And also the NFL matchup show on ESPN, ESPN Plus, and ESPN2. Darius Butler is here. And joining us now, live from the great state of Wisconsin, man who's the reigning, defending, undisputed MVP of the NFL, going back-to-back in the last 2 years, owner and founder of the Aaron Rodgers Book Club, which has made the world much smarter and a better place, Aaron Rodgers. What's up, man? How you doing, pal?
You got the whole crew's in there, huh? We got Darius is in there. It's packed
house, man.
It is. It's packed out because, we got a shorter week this week because Thanksgiving's on the horizon. And, when you're playing in the league, you don't get to enjoy Thanksgiving as much as everybody else. Now that I'm retired and all the boys are retired, we're going to enjoy the hell out of this week. What do you got this week? What do you got cooking? Are we just all ball till Sunday? Is that all we're doing? Are we thinking about Thanksgiving at all, Aaron Rodgers?
We love Thanksgiving. Definitely one of my favorite celebrated holidays. So, yeah, I'm not sure what the schedule is finalized, but, the NFL, very rarely you get holidays off. So I'm guessing we're probably working maybe a little earlier day. And I'm not hosting this year, so I got a lot of freedom, man. It's great.
Good for you. I hope you enjoy the hell out of your holiday. Go ahead, AJ.
Yeah, why aren't you hosting this year? You didn't want to?
What happened? What happened?
We're after COVID and everything. Now's the year.
COVID.
Yeah.
Are you just looking out? Are you just looking out for everybody?
They're going to be
Everybody's safety?
vaxxed if they come to the house.
Yeah, I got steamrolled, I think. There's never really been too many competing parties.
Oh, no.
But this year, the Crosbys, those kickers, they rose up and said, not this year.
Nice.
This year is ours. And so I was assuming, the Bakhtiaris and the Cobbs, we'd kind of triple host this thing at my house, gladly, like I've done in the past. But the Crosbys kind of jumped in there and bogarted all of our guest lists.
Oh, no.
So it's at the Crosbys this year.
All right, well, I'm sure you're
Fine
excited.
by me. I'm not the host. That's great. That means I can French or Irish exit, depending on what you prefer, whenever I want.
Well, I am a rather Irish person, and I wouldn't mind just leaving without saying goodbye to people. So I think it's a compliment for both parties there. I think you're going to enjoy it more. When you don't have to host, you don't have to worry about any of the bullshit. I'm excited to see what the Crosbys put together. It's going to be a good gathering, right? I assume this is going to be a solid Thanksgiving gathering for the Green Bay Packers. Good spread. We're expecting a good spread from the Crosbys.
It better be. It better be. Because I'm going to be in there judging the hell out of all of it.
Yeah.
The decorations, the food presentation, the food options, the dessert options. I'm going to try really hard to get into my ayahuasca mindset and not judge, every little thing. But how can you not? I mean, the first and most important thing and most fun thing to judge is the turkey, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because it's literally, as anybody knows who's cooking turkey, it is the most nerve-wracking thing of all time to get that thing right. Because in general, how many people actually go to Thanksgiving to eat the turkey? Not many, I would say. Most of the time, it's the sides, right? It's some sort of.
I love the turkey. I'm gonna eat I'm gonna eat the drumstick, okay? Because I'm a male and I worked hard for this turkey.
Do you eat the turkey dry? Or do you put some gravy on it?
Never. I'm dark meat guy on turkey for sure. The people that eat the dry meat, whatever that is, I guess the white meat.
You put the gravy on there though.
No, come on, cuz. I don't need to play those games. Gravy's for the mashed potatoes because mashed potatoes have terrible taste and they need a good flavor.
Whoa.
So you put gravy on mashed potatoes. Personally, that's what I do. And give me the juicy meat as opposed to the meat. I don't know what the deal. I don't know how anybody does it. But you're right. Cooking it is a lot of pressure because you got what I just said happening.
Yeah.
You got literally what I just said happening. You cooked the turkey in the past? And how long do you think the Crosbys have been banking on hosting it, and you just keep doing it every year? And they're like, this motherfucker, like we're going to get this at some point. We would like to do this. Has this been something brewing for a while, you think?
It might have been, yeah. I mean, they were sometimes attendees, always invited, and they weren't 100% RSVPers, so maybe that was part of it. Maybe maybe I should do the same to them. Say, yeah, I'm coming. I texted Mason earlier. I'm coming, and then maybe no show.
Whoa! Packers don't need that right now. Okay, need to have a good Thanksgiving. Let's talk about that though. Big game Sunday Night Football. Philadelphia Eagles. Everything's still in front of you. Mathematically, can control your destiny. What do you think you take away from last Thursday? Maybe some time away from the facility. A second kind of mini bye week is what people call Thursday Night Football. What is your mindset, and what did you learn this past weekend while watching the other games, if you did as such?
I didn't watch anything this weekend.
Sweet.
So I can't tell you about that. I mean, I looked at the scores, but I didn't watch any of the games. I was following what Philly was doing in Indy. Indy gave a good run at them, down 10 in the fourth quarter. So, I mean, the last couple of games, obviously they won the first 8 and looked real dominant. And then Washington put up a good fight to give them their first loss. And then obviously Indy gave them a good fight as well. So, Look, it's the NFL. Anybody can beat anybody any week, and there's always upsets that the experts are picking other teams and end up not winning. So, I don't think we go in thinking we got no chance. I think we go in with confidence and the urgency necessary for a team that's in our position that knows we got to string some wins together to get back in this thing. It's primetime Sunday Night Football. We've always put some pretty good performances forward on those. And we're going to be expecting the same when we go to Philly.
Hell yeah. Go ahead, AJ.
What do you think of Darius Slay out there at corner? The guy is playing at a very high level. I'm sure you've seen him. You played against him, obviously, many times. What does he do, you think, that kind of separates him? He seems to be very, very smart and read route combinations. He seems to see what's coming.
Well, there's never been a drop-off with him. We played him a number of times over the years. There's never been any year you feel great about, I'm going to go after 23. That just doesn't happen. I mean, he's one of the elite corners in the league. And when you're playing defense that has good pass rush and you can have vision to the football the entire time, you're going to necessarily, more times than not, you're going to have opportunities in the football. And then when you combine that with excellent ball skills that Darius has, you're going to, probably fall into some picks. And then, when you have the ability to read routes like he does and get in and out of his break, you're going to be obviously around the football a lot more. So I think it's, in Detroit for a long time without, maybe the consistency over the years of that pass rush. And also playing in Detroit where, they didn't win a lot of games, he might not have got the recognition that he deserved. I think people that know football always considered him an elite corner, but now being on a really good football team, obviously what goes with that is the recognition that's often due for some of these guys who have been elite players for a long time, but maybe not gotten the attention that they probably deserve.
And let's stay on that defensive side of the ball. Signings of last week, Linval Joseph and Ndamukong Suh both made an impact against the Indianapolis Colts. Joseph is one of the biggest fucking humans I've ever seen in my life. Whenever he lined up in the jersey 74, I'm like, who is that? What is that? Who is that? And then Sue came in later. They're like, signed on Thursday, playing on Sunday. Not just playing, by the way. We're talking about really doing it. We know you have a solid history, is how we'll call it, with Ndamukong Suh. How much have you looked into their defense? How much have you looked into the preparation of Sunday? Does that start on like Friday? Or are you going a normal week here? How much do you know about the D, and what are your thoughts on it, other than just Slay, who is an incredible playmaker?
I know plenty about the D and obviously watched the film. They didn't just sign those two guys. They went out and got Robert Quinn before the deadline as well.
Oh, yeah,
yeah. Elite pass from Chicago. And then, Fletch has been there forever and still is a, great defender off the edge. But adding, some size in the middle like that, definitely not going to hurt. Played against Linval a number of times over the years when he was in Minnesota. He's a space eater, man. He just swallows up double teams and probably a linebacker's best friend, when you got a guy that wide who can also move. I mean, he has the agility. Reminds me of Pat Williams back in the day, for guys that know who that is. Just such a huge body who could also, very difficult to cut off when he's backside shade, and just such a, mountain of a man. He's just going to demand, if you run at him, you got to double team him, and then he can swallow up those blocks a lot of times. So, solid player. Obviously, Sue's been a great player for a long time in the league, and him and I have our own stuff, and I think a lot of that's water on the bridge. But
of course,
it goes to show when you bring in veteran players who are pros, they're going to be ready to play. So you sign a guy on a Thursday, play him on Sunday. That seems like such an amazing deal. Not really. If you're a pro, and if those guys have been hoping to get signed throughout the season, obviously they're working out. Obviously they're ready to go, and I think in a system like that, there's probably some plug and play that can happen. It's D line. There's obviously techniques and different pressures and things that you want to bring, but probably for veteran guys like that, stepping in, it was not that big of a deal.
Yeah, it appeared everything you're saying is right. They looked very comfortable very quickly in that particular game against a good offensive line in the Indianapolis Colts. Allegedly, they looked dominant. I can't wait to see you try to play against that defense, because obviously the way you play football is fantastic. Is your thumb a problem? Is this a problem? Because you listen. Hey, Aaron. Hey, you hear me? Aaron, you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, I've watched you play football a long time, dude. All right? The thing that I absolutely love about it is you have this natural ability, it seems like, to put a football wherever the fuck you want it. Like, literally, I could put this football wherever I want this ball to go. It is why people have talked about you being the greatest football talent in the history of football, because the way you throw a football. Then after the game, I hear you say, for the first time ever, threw a couple wobblers, threw a couple misses. That ain't you. That ain't Aaron. Since I assume since the day you were born, I saw you throw a Bud Light 70 yards to a guy on a fucking jet ski. Wow. Boom, pinpoint accuracy. What the wobblers and maybe throwing off a little bit, was it a mental thing? Is your thumb really messed up? And is it just a night that you've never had before? So maybe I'm overreacting. And how do you think you bounce back after that whole thing?
Well, there was some wind as well. I mean, I wasn't talking necessarily about the throws. I mean, if you don't throw a perfect spiral in the Green Bay wind, there's going to be a couple wobblers. So, the expectation of a perfect spiral is kind of what I've been known for and what I expect. And if there's anything less than that, then, obviously there was something that contributed to that. My thumb is what it is. It's been an issue since the Giants, but not an issue that I'm going to rely on for an excuse or need. I mean, after the Cowboys game, I put basically every ball exactly where I wanted to, and there wasn't any questions about how my thumb was. I missed 2 throws. I probably hit, 99 out of 100, and people are wondering what's going on. Nothing's changed week to week. It wasn't like it got better one week and then got worse the other week. That goes through things each week. It gets hit various plays, and I mean, even the Dallas game, when I fumbled, I got hit right on the thumb, and that bothered me, but still was able to make some throws. I got hit, a few times in the game. And, just depends on a lot of other factors. But it's not an excuse. I'm not going to use it as an excuse. It is what it is. I suit up every week and expect to play well.
They're saying it was broken or something like that. Are you going to end up using a glove? Will you ever end up having to go to a glove, or is that something you would never, ever do?
No, I'm not a glove guy.
Well, are you a broken thumb quarterback guy, too? Have you ever had to do this before? Has this been something you've ever had to do before?
I mean, I've broken other fingers in the past. I played a season, a stretch in college with my index finger and my throwing hand broken. I broke my pinky on both hands at various times. Cracked, wrist, non-throwing. Which makes certain things painful, getting snaps or whatever. But if I still feel I can go out there and throw it the way I want to throw it, then obviously I'm going to keep playing.
Okay. All right, so I overreacted. That's good news. That's great to hear. That's great to know. Ty, your question for Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron, Pat mentioned how, you guys still have everything in front of you, and I think a lot of us thought after the Cowboys win that was kind of the galvanizing thing that was going to push everyone forward. And then Tennessee, it is what it is, but you have obviously another good opportunity with how good the Eagles are on Sunday. And I know it's a different team and different situation and everything, but do you see any similarities with this team to the 2010 team where you guys won the Super Bowl and you kind of, you had to win in Week 17 to get into the playoffs? Or do you not think of things in that way?
I mean, I wouldn't say the 2010 team. That's got such a special place in my heart, and that kind of always stays kind of in its own lane. The way that the team came together that year, it was just something that we, in 18 years, you have maybe 2 or 3 times. And that was a really, really special group of guys, and added some veterans at various points, like a Howard Green and a Matt Wilhelm that, played some big roles for us. Matt on teams, and Howard, had one of the biggest plays in the Super Bowl, hitting Ben's arm on a pick six, and Nick Collins. But more than that, they were glue guys, the guys that came in and kept everything together and brought guys together in a special way. And that's why we were able to make that run. This team reminds me more of if you're going to make comparisons, it's more the 16 team that was, inconsistent the first 10 weeks, played a lot of up and down football, and then things kind of came together in Philly on a Monday night, and we started a run and won, 8 in a row and got to the NFC Championship, and people remember that. They don't remember kind of the struggles that we had, getting blown out by Tennessee. Tennessee that year, losing at 4-5. We played in the Sunday night game against Washington and got the offense rolling, but we got beat by a couple scores, and then came back in Philly and kind of put it all together for a night, and then that kind of set us on our way. Then we had a snow game at home and beat Houston, and then we had a game against our rivals, the Seahawks, and got out to a fast lead and blew them out, and then we had 3 division games to finish the season, and obviously ran the table there. So that would be more, I think, of the comparison at this point.
Have you thought at all about what life looks like without football? Is that something that creeps in whenever you're not having as much success as maybe you've had in the past? Because The conversation on the internet about you is, how long is he going to keep playing for? Is he going to stop? Is he going to remain invested? Because to be honest, we haven't had this type of struggle out of you or teams that you're on for some time. So I think it's a valid question. Is that something you even let creep into your mind, or is that can't happen in the middle of a season for you?
Well, look, I mean, I'm a human. Of course, you think about life after football, and it's not, it's not you turn it on at some points and turn it off. I mean, I think you always, when you have interests outside of the game, there's always things that come up that you spend time doing, in some of your free time that you're going to do more when you're done playing. So of course, there's that thought. But when you're in it and you're creatures of habit, obviously the focus is on the season. The focus is on the preparation, and that doesn't change. But it doesn't also change that you can't have interests outside of the game that you take your mind to from time to time. And I look forward to those things. But those are not at the front of my mind. Those are near the back. But to sit there and say, oh no, it's all ball all the time and blah 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 bullshit. Like, I mean, I don't know. That's not the way I am. Like there's life after football, and there's life outside of football even during the season. That I think it's important to keep that balance. And yeah, you're gung ho, you're all in, you're all about finding ways to tweak little things to improve and to be more efficient. But you're also a person. You have a life, and yeah, it's been an awesome run. I mean, I'm really proud of what I've accomplished. I'm not like looking forward to the end, and life after football is going to be a tough transition. That's for every player that finishes up, and I don't know when that's going to be. I don't know if it's going to be after the season or after 3 more seasons or whatnot. But there'll be decisions that we'll have later down the road. Right now, it's about this week, about this show, and about Sunday Night Football
and Crosby family Thanksgiving. But that was a great answer, and I appreciate you giving it to us. Go ahead, AJ.
Would you say after football, would you be more likely to become an NFL coach or work in the media, say like sign a 10-year, $500 million deal with a network like Tom Brady?
To call games, yeah.
Is there another option?
Politics.
Nope. Yeah, politics. You'd be great at that.
Hippie. Just be a hippie down there. GM.
Shaman. Be a shaman.
Shaman. There it is. That's the word I was for, shaman.
Yeah, maybe a Sherpa.
That's the ayahuasca folks?
No, they're like a Sherpa, like you help. You're like the guides for mountain climbers. Like,
they do all the work. They do all the work for the mountain climbers.
Oh,
all the work.
Well, they set it up. You still got to climb. I mean, yeah. I've heard terrible stories. Now the Sherpas are dogs because they're doing a lot of different work, but I believe the climbers are as well. I don't know if that's something for me. Do you see in the future you staying in the football world or venturing out?
Definitely not coaching. I can tell you that. I mean, I have no interest in being at the facility all day and guarding my desk. I'd like to.
We had a full convo about this, about the Jeff Saturday hiring. Literally start to show 45 minutes we did because AQ, he wasn't coached for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for a year or whatever. After 12 years in the NFL, setting his family up, having a family in his mid-30s, he goes back to coaching, and it was just, hey, need you to drop cards, go ahead and grab this coffee, need you to fix the fucking printer, need you to do all this. He's an adult who has a very successful NFL career under his belt, and he's doing all that. And it's like nobody wants to get into coaching because of it. So the Jeff Saturday hiring could, I think, change the way that whole goes for former players, if some former players want to get back into it. But nonetheless, that's how all of us feel, I think, Aaron. All of us fucking can't do that. No way.
Yeah, and kudos to AQ because, it sounds like he went in and did what most coaches do and start at the bottom, doing the tough work.
Baby AQ. Baby AQ.
Get
paid nothing for it, too. Yeah, baby AQ.
Yeah.
I don't know that this is the future standard, having somebody who's kind of out of football, even as a consultant, step in and be a head coach. I'm not sure if there's going to be more and more people in that role, but that has zero interest for me. I mean, management side would be the only thing that would slightly pique an interest, but it's a very tiny, tiny interest.
Darius, your question for Aaron Rodgers.
Hey, man, a young kid, Christian Watson. Obviously, he's turned it up these last couple weeks. You got Randall Cobb back out there, some silver lining from last week. Where you at with the receiver room going forward?
Well, I love having Randall back. Obviously, he changes what we can do. And, it's unfortunate we had to put him on IR. But he stepped right in, led us in receiving. I'm not surprised. There might be some people that are surprised, but I see how hard he works. And he just has an innate feel for the game, being able to understand when to get open, what the timing is. And he makes plays every time he's out there. I mean, there's a precision with everything that he does. And you can't put a value on that, like a specific dollar value or a leadership value or just that innate football IQ. And then the precision and the basis of the foundation of precision is details. And that's what we've been lacking at times, never with 18. Just never been an issue for him. Everything is planned, and then he leaves room for reactions, and catches the ball well with his hands, obviously, and he always finds a way to get open on time. So I love having him back. With Christian, it's been really fun. And it is crazy in this business, and DB, you played a long time, and I'm sure you can relate to this. Sometimes, and maybe for yourself too, it just takes one play, and one play just changes your whole mindset and direction of your career. It could be young career, it could be older career, it could be in the middle. But for him, I feel like the over-the-shoulder touchdown catch that he had just took this huge anxiety monkey gorilla off of his back. And after that happened, and in the backflip, he's been a different player. He really has. And it's not just in the games where you've seen, obviously, he had 2 touchdowns and again, making big plays for us, but in practice. I mean, I feel like there's been tiny tweaks in the practice habits. I would venture to say, honestly, I think a lot of it's subconscious. I don't think, even that it's all like a conscious thing where he's like, okay, now I made a play. Now I'm going to practice a little bit different. Now I'm going to do this a little bit different. I just think it's literally this anxiety gorilla that was on his back got taken off, and now he's just able to kind of take a deep breath and be a lot freer. Now there's still things that he's going to learn, releases and route running stuff that he'll continue to get better at. But the confidence piece and catching the ball, that's been
What did you
really,
say?
really fun.
What did you say about him? You said I haven't seen a lot of guys that look like him running around the field for Green Bay or something like that. At the beginning of the season, when I asked you about him or we asked you about him, you're like, you don't see a lot of humans like him around there. What do you think his ceiling is? You think he can go on to be, especially now with this reborn swagger and confidence that he's found? Do you think?
Well, Pat, I don't really want to get into that. I feel like that's been some of the anxiety that led to some of the struggles. Is we wanted to anoint both him and Romeo, who had nice training camps and preseasons, especially Rome's because Christian was hurt for a lot of it. We wanted to kind of anoint them already, these like rookies who are going to be, whatever the prognostication was. I don't want to do that to him. I really don't. I think the anxiety he's dealt with already is a lot for any player. And the fact that he's gotten in the other side of this and had 2 nice games and 5 touchdowns in 2 weeks, I just want to let him be a young kid. I want to let him enjoy this, kind of entry into feeling the stardom that goes along with playing well, and not start to say, oh, this is his ceiling now, now. Because then we got to expect him to be what? We got to expect him to be Julio Jones now as a young player. Expect him to be Calvin Johnson? No, let's just let him be him and let him enjoy this run that he's put together the last 2 weeks and let him come along at whatever pace is right for his story.
Okay, sweet. He could be great though. We're saying, the guy could be fucking great though. I like that. I like to hear that. That sounds like that's the case. AQ, your question for Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, Aaron, I always study the hell out of the run game, and I have most of the time over your career, and I always thought you guys were one of the better sub-run game, if not best sub-run game teams in the league over your time. I saw a sequence at the beginning of the third quarter. You had both backs in the backfield, and you kind of had like a whole little sequence of package plays where you faked one, ran the toss out of it, another one you handed off, another one you run the play action. I feel like that's a big key to moving forward, having both those backs on the field. Is that something you have a big hand in, or is that, Coach LaFleur?
Well, Stenovich, actually, the offense coordinator for us, who was line coach for a few years before getting elevated, does a lot of the run game, I believe. And I love the little intricacies that we've kind of put into it. I thought last week we had a couple really cool things. We've been doing so much motion out of the back, one of the backs to the two receiver side, and then running inside or outside zone with some sort of run, RPO. And then this last week, we started off and ran Dillon behind and then flipped it same side to Jones, which I thought was a really nice adjustment for us. And we also ran a little pseudo option, even though they didn't really give me the green light to, kind of pull that and get down the field before a pitch. But I thought that was a good wrinkle as well. But I like the wrinkles we've done in our 21 personnel with both those backs in the field. And, we got to get our best guys in the field, and they consistently show up as being playmakers for us. 33 obviously is a crazy difference maker who can take it to the house every run. And 28's been very consistent for us as well. So, we just we're going to always have wrinkles like that. I'm not sure how much this week, but there's always stuff in the plan. Whether or not we get to it is another story.
If you were able to get to a offensive coordinator position in which you didn't have to guard your desk and you could just show up on Sunday, how much of the run game would you have involved in your game plan?
Well, I know the run game inside and out. I mean, that's how I was trained. Was front first.
Yeah, don't you read the D-line first, right? That's what, you read the D-line first. That's your first read, right?
Yeah, front first. When we were at our best in the run game, Mike simplified it, and we went to a lot of Alex Van Pelt, old Buffalo Bills K-gun offense stuff where it was strictly based on technique. So we had certain runs to a 6 technique, certain runs to a 9 technique, strong side, certain runs to a shade or a 3 technique, and specific runs for jam fronts. And it was all predicated, all the adjustments on that front, which was great for me because that's how West Coast quarterbacks are trained, is front back. The front tells you the possibilities of the pressures and the possibilities of the coverages. And so I know the run game, and I know all the calls of the run, so I can help out if they need me to make an adjustment like that. It hasn't kind of been the way in this offense. This offense is very kind of turn your brain off quarterback and just like kind of Kunu teaching surfing lessons, like do less sometimes. But for me, I just can't play that way. So I've always wanted to know, like, give me all the calls. What's the single call, the double call, the triple call, the backside, doubles, the backside B blocks, all those different things. I want to know all the calls so I can, in a jam, get those guys making sure they're going to the right guy and do some of the cheater steps in the system. So run game for me has always been, I really enjoy it because it's about angles, and I was pretty good in geometry.
Oh, yeah. Hey, sounds like you're pretty good at the football as well, the way you broke that down. And I saw AQ over there going 6 to midnight listening to you describe the K-gun back there in Buffalo or whatever. It's a fascinating thing because this year in the NFL, the run game is actually up across the board as opposed to the pass game, even though rules are changing for the pass game to be better. It seems like the teams that run the ball the best right now are the teams that are going to end up making it with the way the offense is going in 2022. It's been sophisticated.
Well, I mean, look, I did kind of say that though, right? Because this game goes in circles, right? And the defense will definitely lead in the direction that offenses will react, right? So when the defense goes to more quarter half coverage, shell coverages, 2 shell, you got to run the football. So I'm not surprised at all, and that's the way the league has gone. As the Rams obviously had a bunch of success running those defenses that are predicated on umbrella in the back end and stopping the run and getting to the quarterback with 4 up front and not bringing a lot of pressure makes teams have to run the football. Then you're also seeing some dynamic offenses, obviously with quarterback runs like the team we're playing this week get involved, and obviously what Chicago's doing down there with Fields, and no brainer with Lamar in Baltimore for so long. That's That's going to be the next jump for the offense, and the defense will have to adjust, and you'll probably see more one-high coverages, in the next, 3, 4, 5 years.
Wait until you see Jason Kelsey and Jalen Hurts do the sneak. I got to watch it live a lot this week against the Colts because we're on the field down there. Jason Kelsey looks like he's hovering above the ground somehow, and it's never a doubt. Like, in Jalen, obviously, he squats like 600 and whatever. It seems they could do that, I think, every single play. And it was unbelievable watching it against us. It was like, holy hell. How do they go about doing that? Jalen is awesome. I'm excited for the game to continue to evolve and grow. The cyclical nature of everything, it appears, is going to catch up to football soon with the offense side of the ball. Connor has the last question for you, then we're going to go to the book club. Can't wait to see what you're going to tell us to read this week. Go ahead, Connor.
Yeah, Aaron, on Watson's first touchdown, you kind of caught Tennessee trying to get guys off the field, and it was a 12-men on the field penalty when you threw the touchdown. Then later on in the game, one of the guys on the defense might have faked an injury, and Vrabel came out, and you guys had a little interaction. What was that about? And did you guys get to smoke a cigarette after the game together and kind of let bygones be bygones?
I didn't get a chance to have any darts with him after the game, but he came out very concerned for his player, and I just kind of wanted to hear what the conversation was over there. I had a couple comments for Mike. He didn't really say anything back. Hold
on. Hey, Aaron, they're showing 2 close-up photos here on the back, and we have to hear what was said. Vrabel, obviously, go to the other one, please. Vrabel, obviously, walking out of there. You just asked him a question. He said something to you. Mm-hmm. Then a zoom in on your face after the answer he gives you. You did not believe the answer.
Yeah.
It seems that you did not believe whatever Vrabel said there. If we're just going off of body language and photos there, was it a sentence back and forth? Was there any real convo on the field? Or is that just that he blew you off, that's why you gave him the look that he gave you?
He kind of blew me off.
Wow.
Whoa. Now, I'm not saying I wouldn't have done the same thing based on what I said to him.
Whoa.
I was trying to goad him to give me a reaction, which he stayed above it. But yeah, I said something about him personally, and he didn't want to respond.
Could you imagine Vrabel, Thursday Night Football, fucking taking a right hand and punching you right in the face? Just the Ohio-ness of him couldn't take over. You question probably his manhood, if I had to guess here, with the way you're kind of laying out this whole situation. He walks by, we got?
Oh, my God. One. Bowling ball.
4 to 5 here.
Yeah.
Okay, we got the hat up there. You guys are favored by whatever. He's just Ohio walking by. You say something, and he actually just turns and punches you right in the face. Boom. Imagine if that would be the greatest moment in the history of sports. Uh-huh. Oh, man. You and Braves, good friends, right?
I agree. I happen to agree. Yeah, I like Mike a lot. We talk a good amount during the season. Not really about football at all, just about often how silly this business is and some of the just things that get attention. But I like Mike a lot. I've known him for years. Age has been there with some of the conversations at the Derby over the years. He's a really funny guy, and I just like his personality and the way he is. And obviously, he's a great coach. He always has his guys ready to play. They fly around on defense, and they've got to take on his personality, I think.
Yeah, he's an incredible coach. We're putting him up in that level of when we talk about games and we're trying to make picks. We're like, Belichick's going to do something, though. And we just assume that Belichick, no matter what the game is set up, Belichick's going to have it figured out. We talk about it with Andy Reid a little bit because of the years and years and years of success that he's had. Now it's starting to get to the point where it's like, Vrabel will have the boys figured. Vrabel has one of those things. He's awesome to watch. Former player kicking ass in the coaching ranks. Let's continue to do that. Let's continue to have that. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the most anticipated moment of the week for all the literacy advocates out there. Because it is something that this show should never be a part of. Making the world smarter and brighter and more horizons broadened. Mm-hmm. This show has been a part of a ride that this man started that we are lucky to be a part of. I now own so many books when maybe in the past I owned 0. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the latest installment of the Aaron Rodgers Book Club 2.0. This season was fantastic. It started with the mastery of love. Say, hey, listen, why don't you guys go master love a little bit? Get a doctorate in love. And maybe love yourself a little bit. Then, obviously, George Orwell's 1984. That caused quite a topic of conversation for the time in which it was put out there. The art of contemplation. Why don't we contemplate some stuff in an artful fashion? And then How to Change Your Mind, which is a documentary on Netflix. Then followed by Healing. And then The Boy in the Mushroom.
Yep, in the Cross.
In the Cross, yeah. The Sacred Mushroom in the Cross by John M. Allegro. Then 7A was Love Wins by Rob Bell. 7B was the beautiful coloring book of Keanu Reeves, in which I colored in every belt that he was wearing black, because we know Keanu Reeves only wears black belts in every martial art.
Hell yeah.
The 8th book of the Aaron Rodgers Book Club 2.0 will be
An oldie but a goodie, Into the Wild by John Krakow.
Hell yeah!
Oh, yeah!
Hell yeah, dude!
Yes!
I just came from the brawl of the wild, bro.
Why?
Now we're going into
You
the
can watch
wild.
Pat, you can watch the movie on this one.
Okay.
Yeah, you can watch the
good
movie.
movie.
The book is. I mean, I used to hate when people would say, "Oh, the book's way better, way."
Me too.
You know.
Shut up.
But in this case, as good as the movie is, and it's really good. I mean, John is, arguably my favorite author. I talked about his book about Pat Tillman, Where Men Win Glory, back in season 1 of the book club. Probably my all-time favorite book. Into the Wild is a fantastic book about a young kid who goes off into the Alaskan wilderness and kind of a hippie, and ends up having a rough ending. But really,
he's dead.
Jeez.
Dude.
Well, read the book for
Dude.
Let
It's
me-
like 20 years ago, guys.
Let me take
Okay.
enough time for a book, dude. That needs to be a
30.
30 to 40 year type situation for
38.
spoilers. Okay,
Yeah.
40 to 50.
What?
Jeez. Thank you for that. I can't wait to dive in.
Spoiler.
The book is better than a movie, dude.
Movie's pretty
AJ.
good though.
Who's in the
movie's
movie?
pretty good.
Emil Hirsch.
Who?
Emil
He's
Hirsch.
great.
So good.
Yeah. Eddie Vedder
Emil
does
Hirsch.
the soundtrack. Yeah.
So good.
Emil Hirsch from Girl Next Door fame.
Hell yeah.
Oh,
That guy.
I know who that is.
Vince Vaughn's in it a little bit, too.
Yeah.
Vinny?
Vinny, is this after Rudy? Is this near Rudy Vince Vaughn or Friday Night
after
Disco
that.
Nights?
Yeah. It's around the late disco nights one.
When is
More
when,
like breakup, Vince Vaughn.
when was he in? Oh, Into the Wild recent.
Yeah, I think this came out in like 2006, 2007, maybe.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
How about it? All right, I can't wait to watch. Read. I can't because the book's better. I'm gonna read the hell out of this one. Aaron, can't wait to
You
watch.
can read the book, Pat. It's only
It's a quick one.
Too many.
yeah, it's quick. It's only like 200 pages.
So the movie has to be better then. If the movie's an
You
hour
got
and a
it?
half,
Movie's a tight hour 45.
and the book's only 200 pages, how much more detail could the book go? I understand he's great. He's a great author. I understand. I'm gonna read this one though. This one I'm gonna read.
Hell yeah.
I don't want
Got
to.
it. Get the Spark Notes. Get Connor to give you the Spark Notes. It'll be good.
Hey, read the book though. Don't watch the movie. Don't be fucking cheating the book club, pal.
Never. No, it's an unbelievable book. I
All
will.
right.
Has Avatar got a book?
Avatar's coming out.
Yeah,
so
Pocahontas.
It should be.
Are we excited?
Whoa.
Are we excited about Avatar coming
The
out?
answer is
Yeah.
yes.
Yes.
The answer is yes, Aaron. Did you see the trailer last night? Obviously not. You didn't watch the game. It was a halftime Monday Night Football. They threw to it. And Jacob Soley and the tribe are going underwater. And they got to learn how to fly new birds.
Boom.
Okay? And then inevitably, it appears, and I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, and I don't think we would do this in real life, although probably. Seems like some asshole Americans come back.
Probably.
And then the underwater avatars and the bird avatars are going to have to come together to fight against the dumb whites that have come in there. And I can't wait for it. I cannot wait for what James Cameron put together. Are you pumped for it as well?
I'm very pumped for it. I can't believe we've had to wait 15 years for it, but I'm excited.
The movie's going to be only 4 hours long. James Cameron said, you don't like it? Tough. It's the fucking story. Okay, watch it in 8 different half-hour docuseries. Is that what you need to do? I guess it's a long one. It's going to be deep detail. It's underwater, and I can't wait to see what Sully does with the team.
Me too.
I can't wait to see what Sully. It's been so many years. They probably have a kid Avatar now as a teenager.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
We got
like
a couple.
it.
And I've seen you in the water. You're a big water guy. You're a big water guy. I was confused when I saw you in Tahoe. I hadn't seen this in a while, but you go into the water with your shirt on.
No, yeah, that doesn't happen. There's no reason to do that right now. There's no reason to do that. I appreciate you. I froze my dick off, okay, in that lake. We all saw it. Then I go into that hot tub. We all saw it. Interesting way to wake up. Ryan Hawk, host of the Learning from the Leadership podcast, who has 500 episodes, smacking the shit out of Tahoe. That's the audio that wakes me up. Then there's conversation happening at the hot tub. Can't get in the hot tub, though, if you don't get into Lake Tahoe. Got to go into Lake Tahoe. So cold, so cold, so cold. And it was beautiful out there. Fantastic morning. And don't put that on me. Okay, don't put that on me. I experienced cold just like everybody else. My nips are out just like everybody else. Aaron.
It's debatable, but let you have your moment.
Tahoe was a good time, dude.
Yeah.
What a fucking weekend that was. That was unbelievable. That was a good time.
It was wild.
Maybe we'll run it back. Let's see.
Maybe. I think I'll be in Hungary getting tattoos or something. All right. I'll talk to you later, ladies and gentlemen. Aaron Rodgers.
Hey!
All right, let's get to a break. That's where he was the week before.
That's right.
Was he in Hungary? Hungary? Really?
Yeah,
Hungary.
he was. I don't know how he was eating, but he was in Hungary. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Gary.
Yeah, sister city of Calgary.
Yes.
Yep.
In a vastly different
Right.
location on the map.
Yep.
All right, AQ. Aaron Rodgers Tuesday is over.
Come on now.
Oh, drain it.
In
Drain
the
those
trenches is over. We're going to get to a break here, and then everything DB is going to be on the other side. Conversation about the reaction to Aaron Rodgers Tuesday will be on the other side. But before we get to the break, we want to know, are you going to grab this putter and make any money for anybody?
Yeah, let's do it.
It's the holiday season.
Come on,
AQ.
Nice.
Thanksgiving's just a couple days away. Reminder, we will be off Thursday and Friday. We are sorry about it. Everybody's going to enjoy the holiday season. You know, probably start watching holiday movies immediately following
That's right.
Thanksgiving.
The Avatar.
The Grinch and Santa Claus. And
What?
then, you know, you'll be able to catch Avatar 2 on the other side in December. I mean, we're about to enter a magical time of year. And AQ, you can make 10 people's lives even better. Can he, AJ? If he makes 3 of these 5 putts, we'll give 10 people $500 who retweet this video, say something nice to somebody, and put their cash tag in a reply, because the world needs more nice things said, and you need to put your cash tag in there so we can pay you efficiently. 10 random people will win $500, AJ. Isn't that crazy, AJ?
What if AQ makes all 5 though?
He won't.
He won't.
We'll double it. We'll make it 20.
He's going across
okay.
the pond, too. You see this diagonal?
We'll
move?
make it 20 people. Darius, you're a man who has had to compete in this putting contest for cash before. Do you have any final thoughts for AQ as he could maybe win 20 people $500? He could possibly win 10 people $500. There's a good chance he wins.
Hey, he's on the streak right now. 1 in a row. There we go. 2 in a row.
Oh, man, you just broke the heart of 10 people.
0 for 1. Need to go.
Good speed.
3 out of the next 4 to win
good
10
putt
people
still.
$500.
Is it a good putt?
Woo!
Man.
Needs to go 3 for
Sorry.
3 here to win 10 people $500.
Good rolls.
This guy has a putting green in his backyard, and he goes 1 of none. You go 0 for 5. You got to pay 10 people.
Why are you putting them diagonally? I mean,
Why are you
it's
making a
straight-
longer putt?
Yeah, it's a straight fucking putt. But you choose to make it.
Oh my God!
Can't leave
This
it
is
on.
embarrassing. This is embarrassing. He'll get a chance. Actually, this is your last opportunity.
Yeah.
Darius is going to
Not
be
even close. Jeez.
Hey.
Whoa,
Wow.
This guy
We should
sucks.
make you have to pay because I mean it's unbelievable. We won't though because it is the holiday season and you have a lot of kids. But Jesus Christ, AQ.
It's 5 easy 2 putts though.
Did you just ask for a 3-foot gimme?
Get out of here. You should have seen him earlier. He was on a map like this. Oh look, it's the same. Remember that? He was trying to like shape.
Ask AJ that question.
No, it's not about asking a question. It's about stating a matter of fact, which is what you did. All right. We had a geography conversation earlier. AQ openly admits that he hadn't looked at a map since 3rd grade, and then he hammers home his truth. You know, he has a truth with how maps are. That is in actuality. But, I mean, he's back on
What's
the putting.
his truth? What's his truth?
0 for 6.
Yeah, wants to miss 5 more.
He was 0 for 6.
Flat earther?
No,
Is he flat earther?
Yeah, he does believe that.
Bam.
1 for 7.
Boom.
All right, here we go.
Good putt.
Here we go, AQ.
Great putt.
I'll tell you what, AQ.
Jack Nicklaus with his feet close together.
More like Sir Nick Faldo.
There you go.
Okay.
Oh!
Okay.
2 for 8.
Okay.
He really does he have his earphones in?
Yeah, he can hear you. We have no microphone.
He
over
really
there.
shoot a 79.
He's wired in.
All right.
Ow.
2 out of 10, not great either.
No,
20%.
no.
3 out of 10, good though. 30%.
Oh, man.
Wow, that one's
You
off
just
the
fell
rails.
apart, huh?
All right. Hour 3 will be on the other side. Darius Butler will be in charge of the giveaway. What will he do? Will he throw a football into the hoop? Will he shoot a basketball in the hoop? Will he
Right.
drain some putts for
Right.
the people? On this holiday week of Tuesday, November 22nd, 2022, we shall see. Be a friend, tell a friend on the other side. It should be electrifying. Hey, don't worry about it, dude.
Hey, you're right.
Hey, maybe next week.
Don't worry about it, dude.
Right.
Whoa.
That was good leg extension.
Yeah, that's fight.
That's Fight Club.
Boom.
Jay Glazer's got him bent up like a pretzel at Annie Ann's.
Yep, that's right.
He's been able to pump balls now. Everybody be a friend, tell a friend. We're back in 5. Take 5.
Partner stretch in the day.
Tommy, you want to start 2nd and 14, 2nd and 15?
Hell no.
No.
He's not here, Coach.
No, he is. I am here today.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Appreciate you. We need
45
you.
years old.
Good to see you, Tom. I haven't seen you in a while.
How's everything going, Tom?
Tommy.
Tom, how you been?
Tom, you okay
Tommy,
at home?
I understand and I respect.
Where are you playing?
I respect everything
Tom,
that's going on.
Ready to go war with you, Tom.
I respect everything that's going on.
We ship out at 0800.
Sorry about AB, Tom.
Family matters to me. Listen up. I care about you guys. I care about your families and your situation at home. So quit bringing that bullshit in here.
Tom, you can talk to me about it. It's okay.
Coach, you guys fucking
Leave it
going
at
through a
home.
lot.
Leave it at home.
These kids hate him, Coach.
I have
the
no
building.
Thanks.
What hotel you
I'm living
staying
in a
at?
fucking hotel.
That's on you, Coach.
Hotel California?
We're paying
Room
for your
service.
room, and maybe that football karma will switch up on you. Okay, let's go.
Todd came with the
Check
heat
it out.
today.
He's going to release outside. You got to cover me. You don't block me. You cover me.
Let's go.
Okay? Jesus Christ.
Come on.
Did you play some defense?
I'm
You're
trying
an
to
athlete.
He's
You're one of
corner
the
of
best
safety.
athletes in the
You're one of the
country.
two.
And then
Move your feet.
you got
Man, it's
three.
the highest level.
I'd call somebody else up here, but it's too much. Okay, so the bunch is here, right? That guy outside release. You've got me man to man. Back up. Picture the
Hit him the balls.
Picture the nickel back here. This guy, we outside release our point man. Three's going to the flat.
Yeah.
Start coming to the flat.
Jesus Christ.
He's going to be looking like he's running around. Okay?
Short week.
You got to help me. You got to help
Short
me.
week.
Dead body on him.
Oh, no. Come on.
I'll be the running back. Running backs, Leonard, you guys, we got 3 points of pressure. You know what they are?
Hell yeah.
Fingertip right over the tip of the ball.
Nip.
2 fingers, all right? Inside the forearm and the rib cage. So when they come to try to peanut punch this thing out, and he does a great job of it, because what he's going to do, he's going to run down the trouble,
Right.
eat up the grass, come to balance,
Right.
come to balance, start to secure the tackle, and then punch the ball out. Okay? But if we've got the 3 points of pressure on there, forearm, rib cage, tip of the ball, it's not going to happen. You follow me? But he does a great job. If we're coming loose, or we're running down the field, hey, hold up now. Come on now. And that ball's coming here, they're going to come over, fake like they're going to act like they got to secure the tackle here, and then punch it out.
Who's got it?
AJ, it's over. Love the enthusiasm, guys.
Hello and welcome to the special investigative report. Much has been made in the media world on the life and charitable donations of the man Pat McAfee, especially lately with the rise of the ever-popular Pat McAfee Show, a show that in his own words, stinks. We thought it privy to dive into the inner workings and machinations of this tiny business, this small regional show that has reached international discourse. We sat down with the suit himself, Bruce Brown, to figure out what, where, when, why, and how they're able to give away so much money to the viewers of this incredible program.
So yeah, when you enter a Pat McAfee Show giveaway or win a FanDuel merch picks contest on Sunday, essentially, the entire hashtag will be downloaded into an Excel file, and the winners will be randomized within that. And then we do a quick scumbag check, basically click on the profile and make sure you aren't a robot or blocked by Pat. And then it'll be transferred over to Dirty Gertie, who creates the Winner Wednesday graphic, which then runs on the show each Wednesday in a commercial break. If you win over $599, we're going to need your email, or you can email giveaways@patmcafeeshow.com. If it's under $599, all we need is your cash tag. And if you win merch, obviously we need your size, address, and what you want from the store. Usually I'll just reply to you on Twitter. If you have any questions about any giveaway, whether it's cash that you either are waiting on or merch, you can just reach out to me on Twitter or email giveaways@patmcafeeshow.com. please give us about 1 to 2 weeks to sort out your prize. That's typically how long it takes. But again, if you have any questions, just reach out to us.
We reached out to PMI's money man himself, CFO Phil, for an on-camera interview. Regretfully, he declined the segment, but he did give us the salacious, juicy details. In an email correspondence, CFO Phil replied, $2.6 million year to date. Too much money. There you have it. $2.6 million given away, a pissed off CFO, and a show that quote unquote stinks. Good night, good morrow, good luck, and good fortunes.
Why? Let's go! This show fucking stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for. AJ, never cease to amaze me with your toxicity, pal.
You got a couple of these?
God damn it! What the fuck are you doing?
Fuck Boston
Welcome back to our humble abode, the FanDuel Thunderdome, on this Aaron Rodgers Tuesday, November 22nd, 2022. Hour 4 starts right now. Football! He's here to our left, your right, AJ Hawk. The talk stables here, Boston Connor, Ty Schmidt, one half of the Hammer, Dahn, Cowboys Tone Diggs is here. The host of Everything DB, Darius Butler, is getting ready to do his thing on the big screen. And the host of In the Trenches, AQ Shipley, is here live.
Yeah. There it is.
Hell yeah.
Woo!
What the hell is that?
Should have done the truffle shuffle.
How pumped are you for a live Everything DB?
I'm pumped. I'm very pumped.
Yeah, AQ obviously watches this at home today because of the short week with the holiday being Thursday and Friday. We have a special twofer one-day segment. We have Everything DB happening here momentarily, and In the Trenches was last hour. Aaron Rodgers Tuesday just took place. He talked about his thumb. He didn't say that it was broken. He said he's dealt with other broken fingers before, though, so we didn't really get anything out of that. It definitely sounds like it's hurt, though. That sounds like something is happening. It is a real thing. We will monitor. He'll never wear a glove, right? He'll never wear a glove. Retirement, he said, is that after this season or is that after 3 seasons? That's going to get some play, I think, AJ. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure he probably doesn't know what his plan may be after the season, but I know you've asked me in the past, like I just don't see him stepping away after this year.
He talks about how difficult it's going to be regardless of when he decides to do it.
That's the first time he said that, isn't it?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah.
You would know more than me, but I think that is the first time.
That's the first time I feel like, at least on this show, where he said, like, hey, I know it's going to be a tough transition away from football when you are done. Like, I don't know if he said that before. Obviously, it's kind of implied, but yeah.
We're watching that with Tom, obviously. It happened with Tom. Before that, it's happened to many guys who have been retired and they're out of it and then they're back in. And it happens to those high-end guys because those high-end guys, not only have they committed more of their life to it, but also their entire football thing has been like everything's pushing for them. Like, hey, we are at your beck and call, basically, for your entire. So the love that some guys, I think, at the top of their sport have for their sport is going to be a lot different than a lot of other people because they're experiencing their sport. Not only have they experienced the greatest of times, but the way they've been treated too by the sport has been hopefully in a positive fashion. That's tough to kind of get away from and to move on from when the real world hits you. The NFL will not be as good of a place, though, when Aaron retires, and I hope he knows that. You know, like, I hope he knows that.
I mean, they're going to fucking kill him on all the talk shows tomorrow for saying that, probably, like saying he's holding the Packers hostage.
But I asked the question, so I'm kind of a part of that, but it's just an actual question that I have. So
yeah, but I think his answer was thoughtful, and, but it doesn't matter. Like, he's still gonna take the brunt of the fire from him, again, because he's not playing well. Like, if the Packers were 8-3 right now or whatever, I'm sure it would be a little bit different, but low-hanging fruit when they stink.
Did you hear me say, you put the ball wherever you want it? And he was like, well, with the wind, too. I mean, let's...
Yeah.
A couple didn't have the spiral. I mean, the week before, I put it basically wherever I wanted.
Everywhere I wanted.
Okay, good. Because I thought I read which I can't do, and he's called me out a couple times for that now, for reading what he said in the press conference as opposed to watching the entire clip because it'll come up. And... he basically said, "Oh, the calls about my accuracy demise are far too early. Let's fucking relax. Was kind of what I heard there. That's good news.
Yeah.
Christian Watson, let's not fucking, okay?
Crown him.
Let's let him develop at his own rate, however the hell he wants to do. Let's not even deal with it. I'm like, okay, so the guy's going to be great. All right.
I mean, he scored 5 touchdowns in a 5-day period, so we're a little past that, I think. People are crowning him.
And he was first.
Where the fuck was this guy all year?
First round pick, right? No, second round.
Second pick.
First pick of their first
second
pick
of the second round. Yeah, they traded up to get him.
Yes, okay, got it.
Looks like he was built in the lab, too.
He's a monster. Huh?
Yeah.
Monster, about 6'4", whatever, ran a 4.3, like.
I didn't know he's that big.
Yeah,
he's like a
big as
gazelle.
shit. Me and AB sat down with him in Miami, interviewed him.
Antoine Bethea.
Oh, not Antonio Brown?
Pops played.
Just
Pops
got
played in
back
the league,
from
too.
the NR.
Did he?
Yeah, Christian Watson's dad. played.
So he's second generation,
Yep.
which we always talk about.
Huge.
Give me a second generation or third generation guy every single time. Do you believe in that, AQ? Give me a generational player. Even though you and me obviously didn't have the opportunity to do that, neither did Darius. A lot of guys don't have that opportunity. And a lot of people say nepotism or whatever. But if a guy is good and he also his entire life has been kind of shown the game about it, give me that guy in my building immediately.
Yeah, I mean, those guys that have been there and done that always talk about, I'm talking about the second generation player. They're always like, man, I was around the locker room. I got to see the locker room. I got to see the way those guys acted. I got to see them work. Like, you can't teach that. You can't teach it.
Yeah, I think it just really drives home point. I did not know that about Christian Watson, any of those things. I feel like I'm learning. 5 touchdowns, 5 days. The guy's a fucking guy, maybe. Let's not crown him yet, though. Let's not put too much added pressure on the guy. He already got enough. He's 6'4", runs a 4.3. His dad was in the league. Already enough pressure. Let's not fucking crown anything. Okay, Aaron, you got it.
I mean, just looking at all those guys who are coming in the league now who have had, either fathers or older brothers in the NFL, like across the board.
It helps.
They're studs everywhere.
Does help.
It helps.
Yeah.
It certainly helps. And also, probably genetics help as well.
Sure.
In the
Absolutely.
same vein there. Like, I just assume that my kid's going to be able to kick a ball further than maybe some other basic kid.
Better be able.
And if not, guess what? Outside, no air conditioning, no heater. Start kicking a ball, kid.
Yeah.
You see what they're doing over there in Russia? That's what you'll be doing next.
That's right.
All right, out in the middle of the winters. And that's what I'm thinking. You know what I mean? That's really how it all works. But it's a real advantage seeing how you should operate as a pro, seeing how you should live your life out there. And in your whole life, you've been able to be around the proper dieting, probably, the proper humans that you can kind of talk to through situations. It's a massive advantage. Hope Christian Watson goes on to have at his own rate,
whatever he wants to
whatever he wants to do, a very good career. Right, AJ?
Absolutely, yes. Whatever he wants to do, we're here for it.
That's right. We are 100% here for it. And we're also here for another incredible episode of a segment that makes us smarter and more insightful, in the world a better place. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for another episode of Everything DB.
Let's get to it, man. Let's get to it. Let's fly through it, too. So right here, we've been talking about this a lot this season. Number 1, number 2, count from the outside in. Now, what's going to happen here is it's going to be a pre-snap motion. It's going to be a play-action pass. Something that Tennessee did a great job of. Ryan Tannehill did a great job throwing the ball on Thursday night. Had the one pick from Douglas, I believe. It was just a great play on his behalf. But Tannehill, outside of that throw, had a great night throwing the ball. But this is something pre-snap that you see a lot. Robert Woods going to motion down to create this stack. And like I said, we count from the outside in 1 and 2. But once we get this stack, and this looks like cover 3, so he's the seam flat player, so he's responsible to cover the number 2 receiver down the field. But once Robert Woods motion down to this stack, it gets a little gray. It gets a little hairy on who is the number 2 receiver. So run right back real quick. You'll see the signal to the outside corner. And this is basically, we used to call this Sky. We literally had the same signal. When he comes out, hey, Sky. Typically, when you come down, that means I'm going to have this off-the-ball receiver or whoever becomes number 2. But the way Robert Woods especially runs this route, he's going to stay in almost like a choo-choo train. Pause. So now number 2 is you never know who number 2 is. He never declares himself until he gets into this route. So now both of these guys are looking at the same guy. And I think, in hindsight, they did the right thing. They take the biggest threat, the deepest guy, right? And then let it run. Boom. So once he breaks out, you got 2 guys on this guy, nobody on Robert Woods. The play action obviously sucks 51 up a little bit, so he's not getting any depth in that flat. But then Robert Woods is going to be wide open. Now, obviously, this starts with the play action game to Derrick Henry in the backfield. But what they did pre-snap threw off that whole coverage. Now, it should have been easy. The down safety, I believe, we used to have a rule where, hey, if they don't declare 1 and 2, I'll just take the off-the-ball guy and make him number 2. But this is what happens here. Run it back again. So, but what should happen here is once Robert Wood becomes this off-the-ball stat guy, that becomes your guy. In the corner, you're deeper. You take the guy that's on the ball, and then we got clean matches here. But that doesn't happen, and that's how you get this wide-open receiver. But this is savvy route running, too, because he knows these coverage rules as well. So great job here by Tennessee and Ryan Tannehill. Obviously, this is an easy throw here. He made some throws in some tighter windows in this game. But this is a big play. You got to make that tackle.
It's happened about 15 times during the game, D-But. But do these guys fucking practice during the week? Do they watch film? Like, this shit happens every single fucking week. Why?
Ty,
we keep talking about like communication, like they don't ever communicate. Guys, they're free runners, guys running wide open. Seriously, Tannehill, this happened. I'm not being.
We saw him communicate here, Ty. We saw him give him the sky.
Well, what are they talking about? They talk about the wrong shit then. This happened like 15 to 20 times.
I would put it on this guy. That was the position that I was in a lot, being a slot corner, nickel back.
But he's locked in on 16 all along, isn't he? It looks like it.
And he shouldn't be. And he gave the signal. So it is confusing. I understand Ty's frustration and probably the same frustration that the DB coach is having because he obviously saw Robert Woods motioning down. And if you look at these guys, if you just saw this stat before the ball's ever snapped, who would you expect to run the lower route, the more shallow route out of these two receivers? It'll be Robert Woods. You got Traylon Burks, the speedy rookie receiver. He's on the point. You expect that guy to be the deeper route runner. You expect him to be the lower guy. So this is a big, we would call this an ME basically on 2-6.
These guys this year. What the hell?
So I'm communicated, but you got to execute it. And,
Is there any thinking like when they are stacked like that and you are is there like to disrupt them because they are so close to each other?
Somebody get up on.
I mean, the only so if he just ran this route, that same route from out here, then maybe it'll be easier for them to know. Okay, I got this guy. But since he runs this route and like we used to call it a choo-choo train, that makes it that does make it tougher. But once again, just treat this guy like number 2.
What about a jam?
You could, but no. I mean, there's no real reason to at this point.
Even though those are like the only 2 routes in the entire field, is there any point to maybe just drop off or do something different?
It's literally running back. It's as simple as him coming back, coming down, identifying 2, like, hey, and he gave the signal. He did everything pre-snap. If they never snapped this ball, I would say, okay, this is how they're going to match this route. So I don't know why, outside of that choo-choo release, but once again, just treat this off guy. This is the same as if they were in man coverage and they did like an in and out, like a combo coverage. All right, you take the inside guy, I take the outside guy. Once they become vertical, no one declares inside or outside. As the inside defender, we're taught to take the inside guy and treat it like or the off-the-ball guy and treat that like the inside breaker. But, I mean, it's not complex, especially going into Week 12. Like you said, this is day one type stuff.
You see great tackling after he caught it as well.
Bad tackling.
The positive, though, is that if he threw it to Traylon Burks, I mean, they got 3 guys on him. So
there was 5 guys, actually.
I mean, they did err on the side of taking a deeper receiver. This is a game winner right here. Overtime, Devontae Adams. Now, you'll see the route. The route is beautiful, but I think the play design is great as well because right now, good pause right here, he's running this under route right here. What happens a lot, this route concept is what's the drive route. He goes under, and 9 times out of 10, this top receiver will run a dig route right behind him. So this is go back a little bit. This is the coverage is this is a fire zone. So you got 5 guys, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it'll be 3 under, 3 deep, right? 1, 2, 3 underneath, 1, 2, 3 deep. He's gonna be on Devontae Adams obviously because he's gonna become the number 1 receiver once 10 dives under. So let it run a little bit. So now 10 dives over. Now he becomes the top receiver, right? So now he should be outside leverage on Devontae, and even if he runs that crossing route. You got this overhang player. This is the seam flat player up here. He's playing everything top down, right? So if he comes up, I'll just come up and tackle that. If Devontae runs this crosser, I'll be here to have it. Now, you got to keep this outside leverage. He thinks in his mind, I know this route concept. I know where he's going. Devontae straightens him up, and it's absolutely no. You'll see it from the back copy. I mean, great route. Anybody can make this throw. Devontae, you heard him after the game. Hey, he's young. He's not ready yet, blah, blah, blah. Patrick Surtain felt like he saw something. Once again, drive route. He's been seeing this route since college. Great route design, great time to have this in your back pocket. We saw that hole that you had earlier with against Eagles. I don't know if you've seen a receiver more wide open than this all season, like especially to being Devontae Adams. So like, great route. I mean, that lets you know that he was going to a spot. He's like, hey, I'm outside leverage, but I'm going to jump this route in overtime, make a game-saving, game-winning interception. So great play design. But I mean, that is.
Yeah. So this is supposed to be. All this is supposed to be. Bam. Bang right behind it, and that guy's clear out, basically, right?
Yep.
And that's just how most offenses are. Like, most offenses normally have one half of the field kind of cut off, especially if the quarterback's rolling.
Well, a lot of offense, a lot of pass concepts. They'll have we used to call it like windshield wipers as offense. So you'll have like a bunch of your routes will be flowing the same, either that way or this way. So if you got outbreakers here, you got to take off, you got a flat, and then you got a dig coming the backside because you don't want. I'm looking at the out here, and then I go back this side, and I'm throw it out there. That's tough on the quarterback. So they'll either start their reads from here and go there, or they'll start front side, and then once everything covered, that backside receiver will be coming into that window in the zone. But as a defender, we always talk about it. AJ always talks about the leverage. You got to keep that outside leverage because any help that you may possibly have is over here. And I think he does a good job playing this from top down because if Devontae does run over there, he's in great position. So his eyes right here, just go. If you see it from the back copy, his eyes aren't even on Devontae. So that becomes man-to-man coverage once he gets vertical. But that's tough right there. Which
I went back to the wrong one. Is it on here?
Yeah, it should be.
They cut off. But also now though, if they get in this same look and you're playing them in the future, like now Devontae, if he does run it like you thought. Like Surtain thought he was going to run, he keeps going over. Like now, if you're a corner out there, aren't you a little bit in between now? Like, okay, I saw this. I remember the game winner. I don't get caught here.
Yep, you just gotta. That's goddamn. That's tough right there. But you gotta have good eyes. You gotta obviously see and anticipate things. That's the only way you really make plays as a corner is anticipating and jumping things. But at the same time, you gotta have good eye discipline here. And this is a concept that they probably ran earlier in this game. They for sure ran it earlier in the season, but. Hey, he's dropping his nuts at this point and say, I'm going to make a play. And right here, he knows I got him right where I want him.
Oh, Devontae's so happy right there.
Oh, yeah, he knows
Imagine
right
if Derek missed him here.
Oh, no.
He would have been crying
post.
Yeah. Oh, what Devontae goes through.
Good throw. Good throw, good catch.
Great play design.
Hey, the important thing, too, D-Butt, too, is like no matter what position on the field, is always know where your help is, right?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Like O-line, same thing. Like, hey, listen, if I got guard help, like I know I can underset a little or whatever it is, right? Like it's same shit here.
Yeah, obviously great young player, so he's thinking, I want to go make a play. I want to go make a play on Devontae.
This is a scar that's going to carry him.
This is a scar. You learn from this. But right now, I guarantee you his eyes are back here and not on this. Because if he's here, he'll be able to pivot. And maybe he still creates some separation, but he'll have some type of chance to catch him in the air, make a play, even grab him, maybe hold him. But with his eyes being back here, that's tough. And that's for the gusto. This is a walk-off game winner in overtime. So this is one of those times as an offensive coordinator, he probably had this play in his back pocket and saved it for the perfect time.
He's so nice to everybody.
Yeah.
All right, everybody.
Safe
All right,
all right, this play right here. This is 3rd and 14. This is something, this is a defense that plays a lot of split coverage. So right here, you see Harrison Smith and Pat Pete talking right now. This is half coverage up here, so cover 2 up here, and down here is quarters. But if you look at the matchups across the board, you're going to say, all right, I'm good with Pat P just locking him backside on this tight end. And since I have CeeDee Lamb potentially lined up on my Mike linebacker, who in quarters, if he goes vertical, he's responsible. He's got to run all the way down the field with CeeDee Lamb, right? So Harrison Smith is like, I'm going to help my safety out. Pat P, you're good backside. But the other matchup backside is Tony Pollard on this linebacker. So Dak sees what's going on. Dak right now, he sees the communication. He's in his, his pre-snap cadence. He sees what's going on. And he knows this is a common adjustment with speed at 3 and split safety coverage because everyone knows, we talk about all the time, 1, 2, 3, that linebacker is going to be matched up relating to 3 a lot of times. So Dak, you'll see the adjustment he made. And it looks like I don't even know if this was alert. It looks like he changes the complete play with the amount of communication he has here. So he sees what's going on. All right, boom. You can just let it run. It's going to be a lot of.
Yeah, hold on. Is he thinking here? Hold on. Let me. What was this? I remember when this happened. Oh yeah, we got a fucking wheel.
Yeah, he knows that. Boom. He's alerting that. But that's probably a lot of bullshit up top, and he's telling them, hey, clear out, and I want to get this ISO on Tony Pollard. Now, Tony Pollard played a lot of receiver in college, and he is a weapon. We saw him in the trenches running, but this is him. This is 3rd and 14, too. So once again, Pat Peace locked up here. You got cover 2 up here. He's gone.
See ya.
Boom.
What a ball.
Out of there. 68-yard tug.
Good protection.
So he knows that the will is matched up on the running back in this particular coverage.
Yep.
And Tony Pollard is explosive, very fast.
Absolutely.
So he tells old Cuzzy down here, who's this wide receiver down here? Do we know? Is that
Schultz? This is Dalton Schultz, right? This is the tight end, and that's why, Harrison Smith was like, hey, we're going to lock you backside. I'm going to help my linebacker up here. And CeeDee Lamb ends up running like an out and up, and he goes and hauls ass to help his linebacker. But, I mean, it's no –
You honestly believe that he's telling Dalton here, hey, just clear out. Need you just clear out. Is that the type of check that they could potentially go to? If Dak has that type of control, we think? That's awesome if that's the case.
I would think so. I mean, the only thing, because if I feel like this play was called in the huddle, it would just be alert, and AQ could probably talk to this more. But he'll come – they have 2 plays called in the huddle. He'll just come up and say, hey, alert, let's get to our second play. Maybe they have a single high concept and a split safety concept, and he get to the split safety concept. But since there was so much communication, and to be able to do this too, you got to get out of the huddle and get set. If you get out of the huddle with 12 seconds left in the play clock, you can't do this. So they got out, got set, and then Dak had time to get into this perfect play call. So he gets Patrick Peterson out of there. Boom, you run your route, you're breaking inside, and now we know you are on an island. And that's not where you want to be. Perfect ball, obviously explosive player, but that's good pre-snap. That's good. That's good quarterback play right there.
Hey, that's great quarterback play there, huh, AQ?
That's awesome. Yeah, it's good stuff. And just like DB said, I mean, it's you have 1 high, 2 high checks. You have 2 high, 1 high checks. Depending on whether you want to go run to pass to run. You have man beaters versus zone beaters. So there's a million different things that they give the quarterbacks freedom to do. So
that's a lot of talking.
Yeah. Keep running that. Let me see Pollard's alignment from what he initially had. You can keep running it. He got wider here outside the tackle a little bit. Yeah, just a little bit wider. He knows. I mean, Hicks probably knows there's a good chance of it. But 3rd and 14, you can say, oh, Hicks, why didn't he back up and play the sticks?
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you look from the wide view, when Pollard squares him up, there's nobody anywhere around. So if he turns around and catches a little out, you got to make an open field tackle on Pollard, and you got to hold. You can't let him get 5 more yards. Good luck. That's
this is big brain football for
Dak. If you run it back to the wide, everyone on the field right now knows what this matchup is. Everyone on the field right now, offensively and defensively, knows, okay, this has got to be the match, because now Harrison Smith does do a lot of disguising, so potentially they could be in a half down here, but I think they got a pretty good beat on A. They run a lot of split coverage. Sometimes it's quarters up there and it's half here, but they're going up here, and we know this is the bad matchup, right? This is the worst matchup. Kendricks on CeeDee Lamb. That would be the worst matchup, especially on 3rd and 14. If he runs that right here, middle of the field, you'd be like, why the hell you have a linebacker on CeeDee Lamb? So I would much rather take my chances on a will linebacker on Tony Pollard. But, I mean, hey.
Kendricks did a hell of a job.
Yeah, I was going to say
CD.
Kendricks locked in.
Perfect ball. Yeah, Kendrick, smart player. He's probably seen this. And he knows it's 3rd and 14, so I'm not going to bite on a 7-yard out route. Like, I'll play a high. He was in great shape. Now, he could have hit, Noah Brown coming up after that pivot route, but
they're all going out this way too. I mean, everything's going out that way. He's going that way.
He goes out and up. He goes out and back in. But Dak knows where he's going with this ball. As soon as he uses his eyes a little bit to just make sure Harrison Smith respects him. But so like I said, great. This is great quarterback play from pre-snap to post-snap.
And there's literally nothing that fucking guy down there can do.
No. He was in, I guess the best position he could be in. That's a great ball, and that's an explosive wide receiver.
Stay at Odell, man. That Cowboys offense.
They're going to, right? That's what they're saying.
That's what it feels like.
That would be a scary addition. This is a great play out of the post from Jordan Poyer. He got back out there. When Poyer plays, the Bills win. But play action. So right now we're going to be in cover 3. So we know in cover 3, somebody's got to be responsible for number 2, carrying them. We're going to get a hard play action fake. If this or this guy's responsible for carrying them, both of them bite up on a run fake. This backside corner.
They get sucked up.
Yep. They get sucked up on a run fake.
Getting sucked up.
This backside corner.
Not on the field.
Oh, we get it, AJ.
Mickey Mantle.
Real funny.
Hell
yeah, Mickey
hell yeah.
Mantle.
You see the eyes back here because these are his receiving threat, right? And that interception that happened in Green Bay's game, this is the play that he made. He made the play. He had to run fake, and then Douglas got back and basically picked that right off, but it came from the other side of the field. But here, everything is perfect. It worked out exactly how the Browns dialed it up. Pause, run it back real quick because I want to show you where Poyer comes from to make this play. Like, look at this. I don't know if you have the yard thing, but we can see that this is at least 15 yards, and he's running away as well. So he's going to come from here and make this play on David Njoku, which is, I mean.
Yeah, we saw this live.
This is an incredible play out of the post. Great play design by the Browns, but just watch this. This is why he's one of the separating from the ball, clean hit, shoulders, no head, all that bullshit. Great play. Obviously, bad eyes from that front side third defender, but great play from the post.
It's like 30 yards.
It's a lot of yards.
Coverage.
That's what you call getting off that hash.
Oh!
And then you separate them for the ball.
No, thank you.
Great play
He
by
said,
Jordan.
did you hear him say that?
Sideline juiced up.
You watch it from the middle.
Poyer's a guy, huh?
He's a dog.
His contract's up. He's free agent after this year.
Yeah, he's not a Pro Bowler, though.
All pro, right? All pro, no Pro Bowl?
Yeah.
How many picks this year? 4 or 5?
What a play.
Yeah,
Supposed to have 12?
Doesn't have 12.
Shit.
Nope.
No.
Doesn't have 12.
That's an unbelievable play, though. That's a bail.
He's
That's
got
what
an
you do
alien
if
growing
you
out
say-
of his elbow, too.
What's
That's
that?
right.
Bionic arm.
Have you seen his elbow?
Oh, yeah.
It's all fucked up.
What is it?
The elbow.
What is it?
I don't know. I don't know.
It looks like his bone is just sticking out the backside of his bicep.
So what do you have? He had a lung, right? Did he
Yeah.
have something with his lung?
With the broken ribs or something?
That's why he couldn't, because he had to drive. Now he's got what? Sounds like.
It looks like
The
he's
elbow was
growing
greasy,
another elbow on top of his elbow.
So is that a bruise or is that an infection?
No clue.
It's like that.
It almost looks like a sack of fluid, like a
Seriously.
bursitis sack or something.
Need to get that drained like in semi-pro.
Derek Carr was crying about the other day, man. It's,
A lot of shit.
Hey, a
What
lot
do
of
you
shit.
those
they're
guys
dealing
go
with,
through?
man.
Just a practice.
Sleep to play. And,
They won the next week.
Yeah, they did.
They did.
They won the next week.
They
Right with the troops.
They did. As Robert Mathis
AQ,
said,
your thoughts on Derek Carr?
ain't no pity parties.
As a quarterback?
Well, his press conference.
Post game last week.
Oh, no, he did.
Crying and doing that whole thing?
Yeah, it's awesome, right?
Doing that whole thing. What?
Hey,
What's your problem? Song and dance?
It's not a gimmick, bro.
no,
What are we?
gambling wise, we got to take note too. Cry games are a thing. So
The next one.
if
Next
your
week.
starting quarterback is crying on the
After a
podium,
cry,
Yeah.
you win the next one?
Who
The
else got
Broncos would have just scored,
We got any more
17
sample
points.
size?
They would've-
yeah, Terrell Owens, my quarterback.
Did they win?
Did
the
they
next
win
game?
after?
Sure,
Stat that.
stat that.
You're right, though. If the Broncos score 18,
Yeah.
9-1.
Nine.
9-1. Shit.
A lot of money on the offensive side. Nathaniel Hackett hands the offense off to somebody else.
Clint
They stink
Kubiak.
at it. Hands off the game situational awareness stuff. They stink at that.
Yeah,
I mean,
for-
What does he do? Just like standing there with his hands in his pockets the whole game now? Is that all he does?
Nathaniel Hackett goes from being beloved by everybody in
Yeah.
Green Bay to this dipshit.
This
What?
guy's a fucking moron.
He did not look like he was having a good time on Sunday.
There's no way, dude.
Hey,
Could
if we're
you imagine?
talking,
What's
we're
that?
talking common denominator with all those guys calling plays. There's only one. It's the guy throwing the ball,
Who?
Russ Wilson.
Oh, jeez.
Just saying.
He had his best game of the year.
That's right, and they scored 16 points. So
Well,
you
he
tell
had
me,
a red zone fumble, too, by,
Yeah.
Melvin.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
gone.
Ah, he got fired.
Yeah.
He's gone.
Mutually.
And they had a blocked.
Ball is a program.
There was a
Field goal
report.
as
Mitch
well,
Dak
yeah.
got a shout out on the block
He
kick.
did. I saw that.
Yeah.
I saw that
Raiders.
live.
What's up?
I saw him talking to McDaniels.
Yeah,
I saw him
he had a
chatting
good
over
shot.
there.
Yep.
Yeah.
The Montana legend, Tom McMahon. What a stud that
Shout
guy
out,
is.
Mitch.
Shout out, Tom.
Can you say Mitch?
Oh!
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Just a great cover, 2 reps, second and long.
He's a
from
middle gentleman, obviously.
Right.
Trevon Diggs. Read it back from the top. It's
That's-
just cover 2 rep. Obviously, we see the bunch of cover 2. You know, we're speed. But it's, hey, Justin Jefferson, he's going to run a 7. We got a flat route in front of him. Usually, I always say, play it top down, play it top down, play it top down, as you should. But Trevon Diggs, he actually plays the low one. Comes back. I don't know if he's trying to bait Kirk Cousins into this one, but he comes back and almost makes the nastiest pick of the season. But we talked about Trevon Diggs, ball skills, always trying to play the ball. And there was a lot of – I watched this all 22. Justin Jefferson, he created a lot of space this game. He was open, but they could not block him up front at all. But just a great job
What are you saying?
by him in coverage.
What'd you say?
If the Vikings were able to block it up, there was a lot of yards out there to be had.
11 sacks or something like that. What was the number?
8, I think.
It was bad. The left side of the line was gone the whole second half. That's already a new left tackle right there, and 72 got hurt later.
Yeah.
So they're dead? Is that what we're talking about? Judon going to have a field day on Thanksgiving evening?
Yeah, Patriots are second in sacks in the NFL. Just something.
Their offensive line sucks. Can they fix that in 4 days?
No, they don't suck. I mean,
they suck. They gave up 8 sacks.
They lost half their line.
They lost both tackles, right?
Yeah, Darisaw is out for sure.
Darisaw's out with a concussion. He's out. Cleveland is probably doubtful. Ezra Cleveland.
He doesn't want to see Barmore.
We heard 2 weeks ago Von Miller, talking about how good these tackles were. So you lose those guys, like.
Look at this. His tackle is literally, he's straddling his tackle right now trying to make his throw. I mean,
that's a great rep from Trevon. Yeah, shit.
Yeah, Belichick's going to have something cooked up for Kirk
Cousins. I just wish you would have caught that. But it's the last one, baby.
Hey.
Appreciate
we
you guys.
appreciate you, Darius.
Yeah,
I feel like I'm getting smarter. AJ, I honestly feel like I'm getting smarter with all this shit.
I think we all are. What do you mean?
Oh, yeah.
Darius, we appreciate you, man.
Thank you, D-Butt. Good job, D-Butt. Good job.
That was great
5 for
work.
5 on the putts now.
Well, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? We got options, okay? Because it's a holiday week, so we'll give you literally all the options, but we don't just hand things out. You got to earn it.
Don't putt.
Two shots.
2 out of 5
Two shots, 5 putts.
Okay, so two football throws.
Footballs?
And
two basketball throws.
Oh, shit.
5 putts.
There we go.
Come on, D-Butt.
We give it away
If it gets to the putts, you got to go 2 of 5. I'm not saying it's going to, because you're going to make a football toss.
Yeah.
10 people are going to win $500 when this football goes through that hoop right over there, or basketball
Hey, Q, can I get a snap?
goes through that hoop, or
Snap.
2 putts out of 5 go in.
Oh, look at
I got to take advantage of having a
Saved it. Everything trenches.
Hold on.
Did you hear a snap?
Can we hold on a second?
Silent
Tell him
count.
to get under center, AQ.
No.
This is unbelievable.
What are we doing?
Get under center.
I don't know.
Blue 18.
Get under center.
He's going under center.
I think we're gonna.
Blue 8. Yeah, we're going to.
Get under center.
Double A gap. On 2, on 2, on
This
2.
guy doesn't want to be a part of it.
On 2.
Come on, AQ.
On 2.
Blue 18. Blue 18. Head up. Oh, shit. Oh, no. Oh, got him.
Oh! I think the hut.
Yeah, that was
This is a lot. This environment is getting too much. Glass. We tried it.
That would have been good.
We tried it.
Camera crazies.
People will win $500 because Darius Butler, with his first basketball shot, goes liquid Drano from the stage on this holiday week. All you have to do is retweet this video, and in a reply or a quote tweet, say something nice to somebody and put your cash tag in there. It is a beautiful day to have a beautiful day. Thanksgiving is just 2 days away, and because of Darius Butler's impeccable basketball form and shot, 10 people win $500 going into holiday season. We can't thank you enough, DB, for everything, DB. Thank you, AQ Shipley, for In the Trenches. Thank you, Aaron Rodgers, for Aaron Rodgers Tuesday. Thank you, AJ, for the time. Talks the table, incredible work today. Hammer Dahn is in
15 minutes.
at youtube.com/hammer Dahn. Everybody in the back, great work. Remember, we're off Thursday, Friday, so tomorrow is the last show of the week. We'll make all our picks. We'll probably do a massive giveaway, and we can't thank you enough for joining us. See you tomorrow. Goodbye.